Hey everyone, just before we start, I wanted to give a heads up that the audio got a bit messed up in the recording process. Shout out to our guest. And so we had to use a fallback audio recording, so there's going to be a big problem with hearing my voice louder than the voices of everybody else. So be warned, tried to keep it, fuck, whatever. No, you get it. I'm not going to edit this, I'm just going to have it keep going like this. Yeah. Enjoy. It's the Bad Lads. Yeah. That's the thing we did, or in like the first two, and by we I mean me, and everyone's like, "Don't fucking do that," and I did it anyway. So what's up, everybody? It's the Bad Lads podcast, a podcast about what I say when I say. I'm here with someone different, someone new, someone fresh, someone who spews. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway,
My dick is
let's-
little.
Okay.
Respect.
Anyway, let's go down the line.
It's 2 millimeters to be exact.
Oh.
Gang.
All right. Let's. All right. Whoa.
Am I recording? I am.
Anyway, it's your boy. Yeah.
Shit.
Oh
God, compose. Back to my dick.
It's your boy MK Cheesy on the mic. I'm here with 5 other people who somehow agreed to do this. Let's just go down the line. I don't know if Discord displays everybody the same way. I think we
each time, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, top left, who the fuck are you?
Hi. My name is Caleb, and I'm also Caleb, but not
Mexican.
Fuck. I really didn't want. Yeah.
First
Okay.
thing
The
that
truth
you
came
know
out.
about him.
Yeah.
So-
I hail from not
From
Mexico.
Mexico.
Okay, it's Mexico.
Alright.
But that's all you need to know about me. Please don't deport me.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Okay,
I'm Warren.
All
Okay.
Just need more from you.
I'm Dad. Crabman 2. OG Crabman.
Okay.
Please let me stay in the US.
Warren
Okay.
just left you hanging.
All right. Bottom row. This is really fucking.
Oh, is it? Yes.
What do I say? Do I just say my name?
Yeah, you'd be like, "Yo, what's up?" Because like they know
Yeah,
you. You've
plug-
been here before.
Yeah, plug something in. I don't know, man.
Let's not plug
do I
in.
just start? I could chew into the mic, and then that would be really nice, right?
You can start with your name first. That might
slurp,
do it.
Slurp.
Wait, okay. I say my name first, and then chew. So I'm Kadar,
Oh,
and then.
that almost needs to be censored. God.
Oh, my ears feel violated, bro.
You wanted him to do it, Dad. I'm not.
All right.
Oh my-
apologetic. Like what the
No,
fuck?
I
that was
liked
one who
it.
told me. So if
Yo,
anything, I
I
was
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in a very weird way.
And
That's
then
concerning.
we have a guest slash person who
It's your
I
boy.
yeah.
Bone to the chisel. Captain
Dessert.
Save a Crusty bitch. Feel me? No lick toes, low dick nigga, all that. We out here. Gang. Pow.
Okay.
That's the
So we censor all of it. Is that what I'm
Yeah.
So far.
All right. So
That's the best intro I think we've ever had.
probably it's been. Let's see. When was the first time I said to Anthony that I would want him on the podcast? I don't remember. Had to have been
Ago.
at least a year ago.
It's so long. Kagan.
Kagan, you have to keep in like account that like a year ago we're still in a pandemic.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, no, oh right. So more than a year ago because we were in
Yeah.
school
so
at the
much more
time.
than a year ago, Kagan.
It was like
Like a year and a half.
yeah, definitely. It's been a bit.
what
Granted,
is
it
that?
also was not like we're doing these things very often, but still, like
Nice guy.
yeah. Thank
That was
you.
nice as mine.
Anyway, so we're
Oh, no,
we're not
man,
gonna
that's
talk
English.
about
Not that great.
We're not gonna about
we're not,
cops?
no. I was gonna say we're not talking about the anime we said we were gonna watch. Because
I only got to the first episode. Not sure.
Me too.
me
I
too.
watched the first 3 and I fell asleep.
Oh shit, nigga. Oh god.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, save.
But anyway, yeah. So we're not gonna do that today. We're gonna do that next time. Might be probably like a couple weeks. You know, if we can be better with this, maybe do more than once a month. But you know, that might
Look,
be asking too
Yo,
much.
set a timer. I got you.
I'm
Wow.
busy shaving pubes and selling children, so I can't really be doing all this.
So it's not
podcast
you're
shit all
not
the
not the
That's
other way
that
around.
Mexican shit, bro.
It's yo, I promise you, it's not a Mexican trait. I don't know
Oh.
where you got that idea. Look,
I read it. I saw a documentary, and it was talking about selling pubes and all that
Oh.
kid shit you're talking about. Caleb, you can't trick me.
I'm more
not-
into shaving
I'm your
children
clown.
and selling
Sorry.
pubes personally.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Okay.
I mean, that's a
It's
choice.
it's a more refined trade, I think.
Yeah. Dude,
Um,
I think at some point though, we should probably review a more well known anime. Maybe we should tackle like anime, maybe like I don't know. I mean, like I don't know, like
said
to like the three people that watch this, like
more well known.
like something that like
Dude, we already
yeah.
talked about Chobits. Come on.
okay.
Like
That is not well known.
I would just like to acknowledge before we go back to what Caleb's point was saying. There's another podcast that's like a sort of anime whatever podcast that Warren and I listen to called the Trash Taste Podcast, and they in a moment in going down their anime lists, they agreed with little dispute that Chobits was a 7 out of 10, and I was never more furious in my life.
7 out of 10.
7?
All three of them. All three of
That's
these people that talk
too-
about anime for a career.
It was
Yo, that's
unanimous.
too
That
high.
It was
that's
unanimous.
unanimous.
It wasn't
That's too
even
high, bro.
there wasn't even like
Nah,
a
nah,
discussion,
nah.
right? They were just like Chobits 7 out of 10. Yeah, that makes sense, and then move on to the
Yeah,
next one.
Yo,
They
yo.
shouldn't even have given that any recognition as an anime.
I don't think
Wow.
that podcast should be listened
It
to.
needs to be
with-
canceled ever. It shouldn't
or,
be listened to.
taken
Just
with
to
any.
remove that
Okay,
episode.
okay. But anyway, what were you saying before that, Caleb?
I was
About we
saying
should talk
that
to.
maybe as a podcast, maybe we should branch out the mediums that we review. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so like more than just anime. I mean, we can talk about other stuff. It's not like we were strictly like, hey, let's talk about
No,
anime.
but like some like because it wasn't. We talk about anything here, right?
Yeah, right.
But we were specifically reviewing animes, right?
Yeah, well, because that was like the bit where it's like, we like randomly get given an anime and watch it, and then we talk about it because it could be funny, it could be bad. Especially if it's bad, then we get something like the Chobits episode. I think was pretty good. The Code Realize one was okay. Like I don't think Code Realize wasn't bad in the same way that Chobits was.
No, Tobias is the worst one so far.
Yeah, well, it's only been 2.
Mm.
And it's looking like Libra is gonna be this similar to Code Realize in that it's gonna be bad, but not like good bad, just like oh man, I wish I didn't watch it. Kind of bad.
This current one is the best one of the 3. I would say so. It's
I see.
just
Like at a 6 out of 10.
The opening is the same. Yeah, it's pretty bad. They're all bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what else would we talk about? I mean, I know someone said music. We could talk about music. Whoever said hentai, I'm gonna punch you in the in the mouth.
Yo, bro, I love
Of course,
hentai,
that. Yeah,
man.
I was like, who's in the Google form? I said, and like, what should we talk about more? And this is like hentai. Oh fuck, it's probably Dad or Kadar.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
We should be
yeah,
a podcast that exclusively discusses Spanish American War documentary films.
Is that just what your latest thing has been, Warren?
I mean,
No,
Oh,
I know very little about the Spanish
we
American War.
could do that, or we could.
And that's why
discuss
we
how
should do-
Caleb refused to get.
We should
out.
every episode discuss a new Spanish American War documentary.
damn.
How
Okay.
many Spanish
don't-
American
I haven't
wars
seen
were
one.
there? I feel like
There was
that's-
one.
Yeah, there was
Why
one.
did you say that so fast?
What kind of? I don't know what's funnier, the fact that like the question was asked or the answer. You know?
There was
Oh.
there was more wars between Spain and America, but there was there was only one called the Spanish American War, which is what I'm referring to.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like
But
there
yeah.
aren't that many documentaries on.
I mean, wait. Wait.
Fair
what-
enough.
Someone suggested that we review music.
Yeah, or like talk about. I didn't say review.
if-
I was like a subject, like a thing we could bring up.
Oh.
And someone said
true.
music, and I'm like, that
We
makes
love to
sense.
Talk about music.
Especially
Yeah.
like because I comment whenever I drop in on like a Discord that Anthony's in. Music comes up.
Oh, freaking.
inevitably.
It's everything though. It's
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of
Well,
what keeps us all going.
Right. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah. So like music's good. Fucking love music. You know. What have
what
you
you
guys
gonna
been
do with
listening
this
to
one?
lately? I
What-
mean, we don't have to. I'm just saying, like music. So we can talk about music. Like, what the fuck have you guys been listening to?
What did Dat just say though? What did you say?
He was like, "What are we
He
gonna
said,
talk
"What are we
about
doing
this
with
one?"
Yeah, because
What are we
like
talking
if there's nothing, I'm just gonna plug in a random question and then we're all gonna discuss it.
Oh,
That's kind of
you
what
have
like
that prepared?
that's kind of like how we go. You know, we just like
I have a whole list, bro. Like every day when I sit around, I'm bored. I just like thought of a random question and I just think about that question.
We
damn.
could talk about music for a
Whole
bit
list.
and then go to Dat's
Yeah, I wanna
questions.
return to Dat's
Yeah,
like
I'm
list
kinda
of
Yeah,
questions.
we'll get
This
back
is
to Dat's
Okay.
question corner, the reoccurring famous segment.
a reoccurring
Yeah,
segment.
I'll,
I'm a
I'll
fan.
read the list I made today.
All right. Today,
Definitely
there's like
uncovered.
multiple lists per day.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
bro.
great. This is great. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, but yeah,
All right.
what has people been listening to lately? Like new stuff, old stuff.
Drake just dropped. I haven't stopped listening to Lemon Pepper Freestyle for the past what? How many hours? Yeah,
Really?
that's really it.
Yo, I still haven't listened to that.
No, I mean,
Same.
dude, it's just one of those things where he gets on the song and talks about his Drake life, and I don't feel jealousy, but I feel like Drake.
Oh,
Everybody wants to feel like Drake.
It
I'm
sounds
saving
very
that. I'm
relatable.
saving those.
I don't know. I
okay.
appreciate that Drake is a pretty good musician, but I just don't like his vibes.
Uh,
Oh my!
do you wanna elaborate on that? I just don't listen to
Uh,
Drake for no reason.
I just
Well, actually, not for no reason.
he seems like someone who, if I met in person, he'd be like kind of a passive aggressive dick. I'm not saying this based on any information. This is the vibes I get from him.
There is
Gotcha,
a
gotcha.
funny clip.
Oh, okay.
Well,
There's
he
a-
is, from what I've heard, entertained by women of the younger variety.
Oh, yeah, right.
Um,
He
That's
did
weird
kiss
rumor.
that 116-year-old today.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, lucky. I mean, whoa,
Excuse
whoa,
me,
whoa,
Link?
whoa,
Link?
that's
None of
fucked
that.
up.
No, I do not like the turn this took.
I don't either.
Um,
I was just trying to explain my justification for like
Well, you
not
don't like us
be.
kissing 16-year-olds?
no.
Anyways,
I mean,
okay,
it's not all it's cracked out to be, you know.
so
Can't speak.
here's my rebuttal to you, Warren.
Okay.
I actually think that everybody who says or actually really doesn't like Drake, would listen to a couple songs that are sprinkled through his like albums that no one really pays attention to, and then enjoy them because
Mm.
Oh,
he
yeah.
has so many different things that he does. It's kind of like Drake isn't like one thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like he's not an
Yeah.
R&B artist, not like a rapper. He's Aubrey, and Aubrey
Yeah.
does what he wants. Proven that.
No,
Yeah.
I understand that I'd probably enjoy a lot of his music. But like when I listen to music, I tend to like knowing about the person who I'm listening to, and
Right.
because I like music as like a very kind of personal experience in which I feel like I'm kind of learning something about the musician, which is why I tend to have a bit more trouble with more electronic music, although you can still get that across with electronic music, but I have trouble with that with genres like hyperpop. But because I just kind of get bad vibes from Drake, even though his music is a lot of it's kind of objectively pretty good.
Yeah.
I just have
Yeah.
trouble getting into it.
But
You
based
have
off what
you
you
have
just said, though, you're saying?
like you don't like electronic music because you can't like feel what the person is about. Like I'm
No,
confused. didn't know
I have more trouble with it. I'm not saying that they can't convey that, but I think it's harder to convey it with electronic music.
Because you're not-
For me personally, I'm not saying that
I get
that's
that, though.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because I mean, they're I mean, they are still putting their personality into it, but you
Yeah.
don't feel it as much as like if you're like used to like a live instrument or like their voice. It's just not. the
Yeah.
same. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
No, I definitely get that. I started listening to a little bit of I think his name is Daniel Guerra or something like that, or Guetta. He's like a French guy who
David.
does electronic music. All of his songs sound exactly the same. So it's kind of difficult to definitely tell what he's doing in each song, and feel really anything about him. It just sounds like
Nice.
I'm gonna put a
Nice.
synth and then that's the entire song. It's like, what are we doing here? I
Yeah.
definitely get that. Not sure about Drake though.
No, but the
It
thing about
might
okay,
be-
so like a couple things about Drake being so there's a couple ways to think about why he's so weird and like good at the same time because he doesn't shoot people and doesn't claim to shoot people, never has, never will. But like he's so like
Mhm.
aggressive and he won't harm you, but you feel like you shouldn't fuck with him. I don't get it. So like with a lot of the songs, I just feel like you get to know him more through the fact that like he isn't trying to be someone else. You know what I'm saying? So, like, especially in this song, this is actually the perfect song to send to you because like throughout the whole song, this is a freestyle of him just talking about where he is in life. Like
Yeah.
the reason I like Drake so much is because he just does that. He like does like a check-in whoever's listening. He just says, "Hey, sad," or "Hey, I fuck a lot of women."
That's
You know?
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of that, I
That's
also
cool.
like I've heard a bunch of songs by him where he like puts on accents to like of and also of like various cultures that he has no relation to whatsoever.
But that shit's so cool to me. That shit's
I
so
don't
cool to me
know.
because like
Hmm.
because I think we're just gonna have two different opinions on this because I remember the Drake, the like nerdy Jewish boy, right? Was making songs with Lil Wayne, and he'd come on and be like, "The fuck is this kid talking about?" Seeing him go from that to like nothing was the same, and he's just like talking about like his actual feelings and like being successful and actually being like
Yeah.
a figure, and then to doing I need a one dance, got a Hennessy in my hand, one more time, and then controller and then all that stuff. Like I don't know, it's just really fun to see someone actually having fun with their craft and putting people
Yeah.
onto their music because it
But
comes to a point where now he's not faking it. Like Jamaica actually fucks with him, UK
hasn't
actually fucks with
he had a lot of um like things where he's like stolen flows and whatnot though?
him. Well, if you're okay, so there was one song right where he supposedly stole X's flow from Look at Me, but when you listen to the
Yeah.
song, it's kind of like I guess, but
No,
not
come on.
really.
It's kind that song's kind of a 1-to-1 with Look at Me.
Yeah,
But
but
like
what I'm
he did
saying
that
what I'm
with
saying
like
is
RMR as well.
what I'm saying is what the things that he does isn't like so for the song with the Look at Me verse, right?
Yeah.
I think he was actually trying to mimic X in that verse. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think they were going for like the same type of like vibe. And also the vibe of that playlist was a vibe of a collection of different things that he was listening to.
Yeah.
So you play that song, then you go on to Passion Fruit, and then what the fuck am I listening to? And you
Passion
go
Fruit is
to Get It
wonderful.
Together,
Passion fruit.
and then you're like, what am I listening to? And then Blem, like so it's
Hmm.
he doesn't stick to one thing. You know what I'm saying? So he
Yeah.
might have actually stolen X's flow, dead ass. Like he might have listened to the song and been like, yeah, no, this is mine. But like at the same time, it almost he's one of those guys who you got to give him a pass because the next song is just like, what the fuck is this? What am I
Yeah.
listening to? Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna like defend the man to the T because like I mean he's another human. Like of course he's
Yeah.
gonna make musical mistakes and shit like that. But like I don't know. I just find his music really appealing in terms of just like how honest he does get, and just lyrically, he'll never tell you that he's ever been in a gang or he's never gonna like lie about his personality
Yeah.
and lie about the shit that he's done. Like he's being honest, and I value that because there's a lot of lying ass niggas going around talking
True.
about whatever they want to do, and
Yeah. I
kind of
do
fucks
like
with
I appreciate his authenticity a lot.
yeah.
And I like it when I do listen to like rappers who talk about like things like gangs and shooting people. I like it when I get a different kind of level of appreciation for it when I know that it's like something they've done, you know,
Yeah,
and
no,
and
you
and,
gotta
and
Huh.
they're
love they shoot niggas.
and they're more honest about it. Like this one Boston rapper, G Fredo, who
Okay,
do you know him?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he in like last June or something, he got arrested for kind of being the head of this gang in
Yeah,
Dorchester.
Yeah.
and all his songs are like very like drill songs, like calling out specific people. Yeah.
Shooting up my
exactly.
block for no reason.
No,
Yeah.
that is a gangster, Warren.
Oh,
That is a
he is.
gangster.
He is the music video for the song Die Homes, which is itself specifically calling out a specific gang,
Yeah.
is shot on their block.
Yes. Yes.
So
He is about it.
that
He's
like
about it.
I don't what I
Yeah.
don't understand, and I think I've talked to you about this a couple times. One is the appeal of like of listening to, because you just went to like, oh, I'd like to know who the person is, and then you're like, ah, yes, this person is not maybe the brightest image of not that anyone has to be a role model, not that Drake's a role model, but
when I know what you're wait, but when they just talk about doing it in like a solely glorification sense, I don't really like it. But
I
with
see,
songs like
okay.
specifically with G Fredo, he talks a lot about specific people as well, like friends of his who are dead. Like this one guy he talks a lot about is this his friend named Jared who got killed. And you get it's very visceral in a lot of his songs, like the anger you feel from him because of it, where he says things like, I hope Jared's killers like bleed to death, stuff like that.
I see. Okay, no, I kind of understand, because I
and he talks about other things like PTSD and whatnot, and a lot of that's something that's happening a lot. Like I remember one of my favorite Pop Smoke songs is PTSD.
Yo, Herbo talks a lot about PTSD.
Yeah, it's I like I like when I hear that kind of thing, because at the with like gang culture and whatnot, it's not like a bunch of bad individuals making things bad. You know, it comes from a like gangs inevitably arise in exploited like areas, like
Right, and
with the
culture. I'm glad that you used that word too, because like it's a lot of people don't understand that it is a literal culture in its own
yeah,
sense. Like it's a crip culture, it's a blood culture. Like these people are
exactly.
actually family to each other. Yeah.
And they don't appear like in a vacuum. They appear because of issues such as like
poverty and
police brutality,
and that,
poverty,
yeah.
systemic like oppression.
Okay,
And
I gotcha. I wasn't trying to say like, oh, why do you glorify these like horrible bad people? No, I was just because for a second I was like, okay, so like I didn't. I'm
I
trying
like to know them,
but
but I like to know them as good people. And my issues that I had with things like concerns, I guess, about the possibility of like stealing music is not that it's a bad action within itself, but when you're stealing it, it's like trying to steal someone else's personality if you do it in a way, for me.
And so you lose
it's
respect.
about like
And
transparency and honesty. You can't like, if it's one thing that's like, yo, I like this dude's flow, I used it on this track, or I sampled this person's part of this person's track. I thought it was really good and I wanted to try and do something with it. It's very different from, oh yeah, I came up with this. This is me. I'm God.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But also, there's a difference with some people that like. We're gonna go back to Drake for a second. Drake doesn't steal and say this is mine. He steals, or he doesn't.
Yeah.
He actually kind of pays homage to the place that he's actually trying to put on, or like he's showing love to it because he either likes it or it has an effect on it. You know what I'm saying? So like the UK drill thing, he hopped on a couple beats and actually hopped on songs of those people, showed them love for like 3 months. Like Heady One, I've never heard of that nigga in my life. Played his album because of Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There's Georgia Smith. He put me on to one of my favorite artists. It's just shit like that. Where it's just like he in his own like head isn't stealing.
Yeah.
He's kind of he's almost like a child that just picks something up. He's like, ooh, and just starts playing with it and just makes whatever the fuck he makes, which happens to be good.
I've never really known a lot about it, and so I've been kind of keeping a distance because of these things that I've thought of as like possibilities. But I'll give him another go though now.
Right? Yeah. No, because honestly, another thing that you can think of is the fact that he's helping people.
Yeah.
Yo, One Dance came out. Everybody started listening to that type of music immediately. That became the vibe of 2016. 100%. Now everybody's on the UK drill beat. Why? This nigga just went on Heady One's song and went crazy, and spoke a different language in the middle of the verse. Like he just does shit, and it's just like he kind of sets. Either he's the pioneer or he like coattails things that he does fuck with. Disrespect that, because if I were to make music, I feel like I'd do the same thing. I listen to something and be like, okay, I fuck with this. You know what I mean? And I just kind of like go along with it, because like I feel like a person should be free to explore different things. And I think different artists should do that more.
Well, that's what most genuine artists like to do. That's the goal, is you want to make what you like to hear, and so you know.
Yeah, and I mean,
you know what's crazy? I just listened to I just watched a Biggie Smalls documentary, and I learned a couple things about how he hears music. He's like an R&B guy. He loved it. So when you listen to a Biggie Smalls song, I always wondered why he gets the craziest samples.
Yeah.
Because he listened to those songs and he was like, "Oh my god, I can," and then shits on the whole song.
I've been listening to
like he samples it perfectly. And
Machine Gun Funk a lot. Not punk, sorry, funk. Why did I say funk? That's like the only song that I have been listening to from him recently. I was like, I should.
Oh, Machine Gun Funk.
Yeah, from because like I don't listen to a lot of like older rap that people's like, oh, this is like what you got to listen to. I just don't listen to a lot of rap in general. But it's like it's the same thing as like when people are like, yo, you gotta watch this anime, you gotta watch Cowboy Bebop, you gotta watch Full Metal Alchemist. It's like, oh, I should, I agree, just haven't.
Yeah, I get that, because I was it took me so long to watch Full Metal. It took me like 3 years, because I was just like, I don't like being told to do something in general, and when it's like I'm like, I don't like to feel like I'm missing out on something in that way, and I have to like, watch something. I don't know, it just makes me feel weird. But I'm gonna change my life. That's just the fact. That shit's ridiculous, bro.
That might be just committing to the show, though. You know?
Yeah,
like,
it's hard to commit to stuff. I think a lot.
Not even in that sense, though, because like there's just been a couple shows that people told me to watch, and I'll never even touch that shit again, just because it's not for me. But I'm always open to that now, because I've like watched a Full Metal Alchemist, and I'm like, yo, what? And because I've watched different shows and listened to different music, and I was like, I would have never in my life even touched this one time if it wasn't for this person putting me onto it. Love that shit.
Honestly, at this point, like the best way for me to be convinced to listen to music is usually not even by telling me, but when I'm bored and on like Spotify on my computer, I'll see like the people I follow. So I'll see that Warren's listening to Denzel Curry, and I'm like, I wonder what that sounds like. And I was like, oh fuck, this is good. Or Caleb will be listening to one of his playlists. I'm like, yo, I gotta listen to like Caleb's playlists. They're pretty good,
I put too much time into my playlist.
And you know what? I respect you and I acknowledge your effort, Caleb, because I like your playlist.
Thank you. I need that because every single one of my playlists that like I own, the title it's always has gold in it, and I don't know why I did that.
Well, you've got a brand.
Send me your link, bro.
Send me my link. You have me on Spotify. You just gotta. I'm following.
Yeah,
bro. I'm a boomer, bro.
Oh, okay, I got you, old man.
Okay, Mr. Not 19 yet, not 19 gang.
Bro, I only listen to anime music these days, man. I'm a boomer.
I do too. I think anime music is Japanese music in general has
great.
Jesus God, yo,
bro, it just hits you in a different way.
Oh my god,
what's wrong with them?
I listen to so much Koto music.
Oh
like,
yeah,
just acoustic Koto music after watching Koto Toma, like
oh my god,
a song, an anime about the like traditional Japanese instrument, and oh my god,
yo, oh my god, I was gonna watch that the other day and decided not to.
So good, bro. It's so good.
That's like one of my few 10 out of 10 animes. Like it's
I try to stay away from like musical anime because it's like the last one I watched was Your Lie in April, and obviously that was kind of sad.
It's nothing like Your Lie in April.
Okay, no, it's a lot better.
I think it does follow like a traditional kind of like tournament arc structure and like high school club
that's
anime.
what I figured.
But it does it well, and the characters are pretty compelling, and the music is just so beautiful.
I'm super excited already.
Dude, you
Like
ever like just
I
listen
almost
to
or
like a
did
soundtrack?
cry. Yeah, when I the like the main song 10Q, when I first heard that, I think I cried.
I cried, bro. I cried.
Yeah.
And like when you still listen to it again on Spotify, you recognize the song because it
Yeah.
comes up, like a tear just come out.
Oh
For
my
some
god.
reason. Oh
Really
my
excited.
god, bro.
Yeah.
It's so
I've
good.
been on an anime like binge because like I wasn't watching anime a lot since I was reading One Piece, and so
Yeah.
You
now
finished?
I finished it. Yeah.
You
Damn, bro.
finished watching
No
One
way,
Piece?
bro.
No, I finished reading. One
Oh,
Piece.
okay. I was like, jeez.
Jeez, yeah,
Yeah,
you have
I,
that's dedication that I could never find in myself ever in life.
Mm.
Bro, I did the
reading
same
it.
with Detective Conan, but
Yeah,
like
reading it,
One
that's just
Piece? No way, man.
I mean, well, Detective Conan is. I don't know how long the chapters are, but I don't really know Detective Conan that much.
That's
But
like
Like
isn't that
35,
like
40.
longer than
yeah, Detective Conan has more chapters than One Piece.
Yeah,
But like,
it's out like 1,000 something.
but I mean, but like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about
it's so much
because
older though.
One Piece has so much dialogue, right?
Oh, yes.
It has so much like exposition going on. There's so many like flashbacks and stories that they're telling at the same time. I mean, he's an artist. He's really dedicated to his craft. But what I notice is with these older anime, I mean, I've said this a million times, but um, older anime or like classics that people look up to, like the big three in anime, aren't really that good, right? They're good, but I've watched much more compelling like stories than One Piece, right? Or like so like it's good for what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but as like a story that you should get into, I can't recommend it over something that really like changed me, like Full Metal or something like that, right?
Yeah,
The older ones are usually longer, so they have more time to get fleshed out. So that's why people will be like, "Oh, this is like one of the greatest." But a lot of the time, some of the 12-episode anime are just so good. Like I
Oh my
think,
god.
Promised Neverland was crazy.
yeah,
Promise
it's just
Neverland.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. You
Promise
just
Neverland is another example of an anime that's music is just out of this world.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my god, bro. I mean, and the way the music actually matters, it's just
Yeah.
something straight out of God's head. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
You know, I started watching season 2 and I don't think I'm going to continue because I kind of want to just leave it where it ended in season 1 because I watched like the first few episodes of season 2 and I don't really like where it's going.
yeah.
Yeah,
It seems like a different show. Like it doesn't. I'm not saying it seems like bad,
It does change a lot.
but
Yeah.
it seems it like. I mean, it would be hard for it to be very much the same. But I just kind of like where it ended in season 1.
it ended in a wonderful place. I do remember that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna spoil it or say anything, but like
That was so good.
it's really just a well
Don't spoil it.
like the story is just it's well done, it's well everything.
Yeah.
But season 2, I don't know, but from what I think I heard that it's gone off of it's stopped following the manga.
Probably.
Season 2, yeah.
Season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not following the manga a little bit. It's just a little bit sidetracked.
yeah, which is like I don't know why because the manga I read it's done, so I don't know why it's sidetracking like this because they could just continue the story. But no,
Probably because the
season
manga's
the
after
manga,
a certain point where they leave off in season 1. Once you
yeah.
get after that in the manga, I started getting disinterested. So I could
Honestly,
probably see
yeah.
where they would branch off a little bit. Is it just like filler, or are they doing like a complete? What is
I
it?
don't like from what I've seen of like the episode. I haven't watched them, but like when like they show up on like Hulu or something, it looks like the whole main cast is there. It's not like they're introducing anything totally new. But I think they're spending too much time where they are. I think they need to because yeah, I really don't want to spoil it, but like where they are right now, I think they're spending too much time there, and I think they should probably move on like it does in the manga.
Well,
think
I
that's
mean,
really
if the manga had like a general kind of negative reception after like kind of season 1, I think going in a different direction from the manga is a good idea.
That's the thing. It didn't necessarily. So like the manga got a really bad reception because of its ending. That was it.
Oh.
The ending was where it got the biggest, most flack.
Yeah.
Because it just went. It just wasn't. Yeah, it was like it was just it wasn't satisfying. It wasn't what it didn't make too much sense, and it was very rushed. It was like the Game of Thrones ending. It just left the fans kind of like,
Or
why did
Darling
you?
in the Franks or Neon Genesis.
Yeah,
Any of those are comparable to that
where you
ending.
had like an amazing story and you kind of just let it fall flat. And yeah, so Neon Genesis is a really good example because that was just unfortunate.
Yeah,
But
I had to go
yeah.
back and watch like a separate review to understand what I had watched at first because it just got too confusing. I was like,
Huh.
what am I looking at?
But like the beginning of that anime and where where it's going and like the tempo, it feels really good. It really is an enjoyable watch. But by the end, you're like, what are you guys doing? You know?
It's always the
But
same for all
it's
anime.
I still recommend it though. It's like one of those classics that it's like it's a classic, so it's like why does it have this name? But like it really does. I know. It was it was compelling in what it was trying to do. It's unfortunate that it dropped off like that. But yeah, that's my TED talk.
It's like an anime for you.
Good,
Always
good TED
shit.
talk.
Hmm.
I will not go
Well.
in depth. It's bad.
Um,
So anybody else been listening to anything new lately? I know that all somehow
Uh,
spawned from a Drake conversation.
I've been listen. I don't think any of you will relate to this, but I like some black metal, specifically like Scandinavian black metal, and I've been listening to a lot of like newer like black metal, like groups like Enslaved and Galsveard and whatnot, and I've recently kind of like Kagan going back to Biggie have finally gotten myself to go back to some of the older groups that like I've known about, known I should listen to, and one of them is this Swedish band named Armageddon. Um, and what really got me into them and how I found out about them is because my brother's into them, and one of their album covers and what the singer for it has tattooed on his arm is this it's a tattoo of a skeleton holding a sun in one hand and a moon in the other with a serpent around him in a circle. And why that struck me was because that is one of the gravestones in my town from 1775.
Wow.
And I did a lot of research on it for a long time, trying to look for any other gravestone that matches that. Like, because sometimes the gravestones do the same pattern like over and over again, or in multiple different places, or it's a design that came from something that someone wanted. And I could not find anything with this design in any gravestone or painting or stained glass window in like a church or anything like that anywhere. And I was just really confused because it's this symbol that appears all throughout this like Swedish black metal musician from like the like 90s and whatnot. He has it tattooed in his arm. It's in like a lot of his like single covers and whatnot. And it's just a random gravestone in a random town from some random person. Uh, although I understand why he would appreciate it because it's based off of like black metal comes from like the kind of Satanist movement of like the like late 20th century, which itself sprung in Scandinavia from the connections between traditional Nordic theology. It was never like a worshiping like sacrificing kids to a horned man in the woods or something like that, or believing the character of Lucifer existed. It was the kind of Nietzschean I don't prescribe to this kind of theology they have myself, or I guess they wouldn't describe it as a theology, but like the kind of Nietzschean anti-slave mentality um, of what they believed Satan to be, like kind of going against wanting to be in like a herd or something like that, believing that more individualist, which is what and that came from the Nordic theology because that's what that was all about. not praying for like the gods or spirits to give you something, but for them to help you do things yourself and whatnot. And so I've been listening to him a lot recently because of that, and that's been interesting. And I have trouble with some black metal. Some of it I find too abrasive.
How do you mean
Um,
abrasive?
Like when it's almost like it's hard to get a sense, like just very guttural singing over very loud drums and a very distorted guitar.
Gotcha.
I like black metal when it's more melodic, and I think songs like "Carving the Voices" by Gall is a great example of the type of black metal I like. Just kind of angry vibes.
I think I'm inclined to agree. I feel like just like nothing against, I guess, people who do like that, but I do like melody. That's why like I don't. One of my favorite punk bands or hardcore bands has more melody than anything. But you know, when I listen to a lot of more broad like punk music and hardcore music, some of that melody gets dropped for intensity, or it's like I don't like I respect it, but I don't. I like melody a little bit more. What was that Gall song you said that you referenced?
It's called "Carving the Voices,"
I see.
which is a very metal name in
Yeah,
a good way.
sounds about right. I my the a Christian, not Christian. I mean, I guess I don't know what they are, but they're not like explicitly Christian, but a white metal band that I listen to, which I guess is also sometimes called Christian metal, sometimes called Jesus metal, whatever you want to call it. Called Demon Hunter, that I found as a joke, and then just started to like legitimately. They just released like a new um like album that's like a stripped album, so it's all like acoustic and like piano, but it's just like their other songs that are more heavy, obviously. And so it's cool, and I think I really like when metal bands do that, where they have like an album where they like give a go at some of their songs, or when they just write songs that aren't like what they usually do. I think it's cool, and it shows that these bands have, they got range and they can handle like different sounds.
Yeah.
I've been starting to like branch out a little bit more. Actually, that's a lie. Branch out in terms of like stop listening to rap, or I guess trap, and more into like drill. But I guess branch out in terms of like other country drill, not just like Pop Smoke and
Oh,
22.
did I send you that video?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
yo, that shit's crazy, dog.
I'm starting to
There's
really
like French
enjoy
niggas
UK drill, man. Like
Oh,
really.
bro, yo, you're about to get me going. Oh, you're about to
I'm not
get me
sure why.
going,
I guess
bro.
everyone now they know like Central C because he did a song called Loading, and it was like in a bunch of like TikTok videos, bro. And then I pressed on his name, and his name led me to a bunch of other people, and then I started listening to like Digga D and
Digga,
yeah, bro.
dig. Bro, it started as a joke. I swear to God, it started as a
No,
little.
it
I was
started
on
as
YouTube
a
one
joke.
day, and I was like,
I'm
yo, what
fucking
what is
serious.
this? Yo, I'm gonna look like let's find Wally. Sorry, I was
Bro,
like, oh
it
God, they're going
sounds
crazy.
so good, bro.
Then I kept going, bro, and I was like, wait, these men have something going on that no one has going on ever.
No, yeah.
Like their accent and the way they're like actually melodically using their voice, and the
Oh,
way
yeah.
a drill beat works, bro. And because it's the difference between a drill beat and like a regular trap or anything or any other hip hop beat is that like a hip hop beat like loops. So
Yeah.
you take a loop and you take a sample, and then you may do a little interlude of a change where a rapper wants to sing, do other stupid shit, whatever. Cool. A drill beat dances, like it progressively moves.
And
so like,
the
when they
the
go together, come on, bro.
the like drill the drill rappers too, like their voices kind of fall back into the beat and become a part of it. Like I love it when they have like super deep voices like Unknown T and
Oh
my God, bro.
bro, I was about to say Unknown T, man. I was about to.
Get me going. Cause no. What you guys don't understand is that I'm thinking of the exact opposite, bro. I'm thinking of like, okay, so there's this Drake, right? Drake, he came out with the song Demons and Fib and another nigga, fuck it. But like Drake's verse was crazy, right? But like what I was listening to before that was Pop Smoke and Ariana
Yeah.
Grande on a drill beat,
Oh
and
yeah,
she's
you shared that with us.
singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've been
Singing,
listening to drill
bro.
beats over everything, man. The 808s, they go so hard.
For a second, I thought you were saying that Ariana Grande was
there's
doing
one,
a
bro.
drill beat, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a
Oh,
minute."
there's one,
Yeah.
and it might be the best song I've ever heard in my life. I
Which
can't
one?
listen to it because I won't stop. So
Nice.
stupidly good, bro.
Are you talking about that
So
one?
stupid.
Which
Yes,
one?
bro.
Link?
Okay.
The more you listen to it, the crazier it gets, Caleb.
Do we still have the link out, or did they take it down?
I thought they took it down.
I screen recorded it. Thank Arnie. Arnie took the initiative and she just screen recorded it. And I was
Shout
like,
out to
okay.
Arnie.
Share. Shut up.
Yeah.
No, I might
Share?
have to swing that because bro, I listened to that and the ending makes my chest do something that I've never ever felt in my life.
Can you put that on the?
Drill is starting to get
Together.
really popular now because
Oh
I mean
my
they're
God.
putting drill beats over like Michael Jackson or
Oh,
anime
What
songs.
I do months ago. Y'all
Yeah.
I was trying to tell you,
Yeah,
Michael Jackson and that drill beat was
Yeah,
kind of
so-
going.
So
Goes
Trying to tell y'all, man.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, just to give a little context to that, I mean, Tim is a good friend of ours. I'm just gonna reference him now, and Tone and I will like share music with each other. A lot actually, no more so now because we all share a playlist. But Tone shared a Billie Jean over like a pop.
Oh my
like,
God,
drill
that
beat.
kind of goes
Yo,
hard.
listen to that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But Tim and I listened to it,
Like-
and it for I don't know what it was. Like, I definitely respect it, but I can't listen to it still just because like it goes crazy. But Billie Jean in my mind, it's just on its own. I don't know. Mixing with that,
And I
I think it
respect
just
that.
threw me off.
I
Yeah,
respect that. Like, Billie Jean's his own thing. Like, I mean, it's probably arguably the best song ever made. So like, I
Right.
get that, and especially if you like have a sentimental attachment to it, that's just deep in your mind. I really understand that. I don't. So, bro, when I listen to that dog, and that man's heeing on a drill beat, I'm like, okay. I mean, it's nothing. It doesn't get better than that for me. Dude. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I need
I
to hear more, bro. I need to hear more.
Yo,
I-
I've been like,
Yeah.
there's this guy who he put like Pop Smoke over like an Attack on Titan song, and then after
Yup.
that put a drill beat over it. And I was like, bro,
Yup. Oh,
How
and
creative
it smells
can you
like
get
Teen
with this?
Drill. Oh,
Yeah, bro.
Nirvana. Oh, what were they
Nirvana
doing
over
on
the
that
drill
beat,
beat
bro?
was beautiful.
What were they doing? Earth, Wind, and Fire. They have a song that
Yeah.
on a drill beat. I was like, hey,
What?
what's going on here?
Huh.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, dude.
You
People
kind of have to
do things
look
now,
at it that
dog,
like,
with music. Like, bro, you
Yeah.
just have to listen to it for what it is, like, for what you're listening to.
yeah,
It's
you
just
have to
so much
separate
better.
it from the originality of it, and then just put it with the drill beat and hear it as only that. Like try
Yeah.
to like forget what it was before.
Yeah, bro.
To do
Because you're
with,
not gonna
yeah.
enjoy it. You're
Billie
trying to be
Jean
like,
have to.
that
Because
doesn't
if you're
sound right.
listening, if you're listening to it for the Nirvana of it, it's not good. But like once you like actually seep into the song, you're like, whoa, like these men are doing. Oh god, yo,
yeah.
I'm just gonna bounce back to Ariana Grande real quick because I don't think you guys understand that she was sampled on one of her songs. Like, her voice was sampled on it. So my nigga, some guy said, I don't know if she goes hard. So they took the song that she was sampled on and put the verses on the actual mannequin beat that Pop Smoke made.
Oh
They
man,
put
yeah.
Pop Smoke and Lil TJ. So they just like cut in and out like in bottles of bubbles, girls with tattoos who like getting in trouble on a
Yo,
joke.
that
Oh my
shit
god.
goes crazy.
And yo,
That shit
I
goes
mean,
crazy.
it's just come on, dog. Like that's what music's made for.
No, this is like the only like branch of music where I started actually, well, not the only, but I started actually like doing research on it strictly because I'm in Brooklyn, and that's kind of where one of the biggest drill scenes is. So
Yeah. They're doing the
I mean,
thing,
it's
yo,
kind of
they're
it kind of
doing
goes
the thing.
deep, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, most of
no,
it kind of
it's
goes
been
murder,
popular.
but like,
Wait.
bro, it goes deep
Doing the
because
thing,
they're fighting
right?
over here for that drill scene. Like they
Yeah,
all
no,
want
I mean,
control, bro. So it's a combination
yeah,
of
22 G's. Yo, I know exactly.
Yeah,
what you're talking
bro.
about. They all
But
wanna
they're
do
all,
the
it's
whole
all like
thing, that
separate
shit.
though. It's like Pop Smoke's in his own thing, and then you have
I'm forgetting a lot of names, bro. But you have 22
22
G's as a
G's. You have
you got oh my god, why am I forgetting
There's
names?
definitely in the discussion.
Yes.
Bro, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's a whole group of people in New York who honestly wouldn't like each other in the first place because gangs, but they're kind of arguing over who they started it. It's
Yeah,
one of those
who's
stupid things
first
that
of all,
people
who's
don't
selling drugs in what neighborhood, and also
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
gonna have the biggest drill scene.
Yeah.
Which
Is
like,
how do like do you know how like
oh, chef,
people who like are not like woos in Brooklyn, like how do they react to like Pop Smoke?
as a person who is not woo in Brooklyn,
Or like not I mean specifically like
yeah,
other do you know how like other
yeah,
gangs in Brooklyn like react to it?
not to be honest, no, because we don't like. I live in a neighborhood where like, if there's someone who is gang affiliated that comes to like, I'll go to like basketball courts. That's where you'll find a lot of like gangs, I guess. If there's someone who does show up, it's like incredibly obvious, and you honestly, you're not really supposed to play other music. You know what I'm saying? Like people will stop playing certain music in the court.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there was one time where a guy he had come to like shoot a music video at the basketball court. It was like 30 people on the court. This is like before COVID though. Like 30 people on the court. There's a bunch of guys there. And he comes to shoot the music video. Everyone just stops. People are like getting ready to leave. Everyone's like waving guns, and he's got like a what's it called? The vest on, the bulletproof vest. It might have been
Yeah.
for decoration, but he had the vest on. I mean, it's a little awkward because I don't
Yeah.
usually go out in the street a lot, but when you do see people listening to like music that is I don't it's kind of weird. You don't see it often, Warren, to be honest. People
Yeah.
are
I was
very,
just
like,
wondering if you knew from like the research or anything like that.
no, they didn't talk about that. But from actually
Ah.
seeing people in the gangs in the neighborhood, they're territorial about their music too. So they're not gonna play.
Yeah.
They're
like,
not
you
gonna
can't play like if
you
FBG
can't really
Duck
say that.
around King Von. Yeah.
Well,
Right,
yeah.
dude.
I mean,
Can't just play that
that's
shit.
that's a bit more
Or it
like,
gets
you know.
weirder too because there's some songs, dog, where and like
Yeah.
there's some songs that are in the Boston scene. I literally can't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
No, it's
just about. I mean, most Boston like drill music I've heard, it's specifically calling out specific neighborhoods and whatnot. Like
yeah.
other people like Trotty White Glizzle and people like that too. Like everyone, it's a little too territorial, and that's why every Boston rapper I like is in jail now. Because they're way too specific about it. But I was just wondering if like Pop Smoke had kind of elevated above that, because like people like King Von and like FGB Duck, they also specifically call out names like like in the like the Duck song like Dead Bitches. That which was like weeks before he died. That was kind of I mean,
Suspect.
just hearing that song, I knew it was gonna happen.
Right.
Like
You
I
think
remember.
that Pop Smoke would elevate above like gang violence, but they're still territorial even
Yeah.
with his past.
No, but bro, you know what the thing is, dude? No one really does though. Like it
Yeah.
really does chase you. Like, that shit. That's like one of the reasons why it's just like it's so deadly because no one forgets about that shit. If you're in a gang, you are a part of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
and
a
all
family,
the good and
right?
bad that comes with it. Like
Right.
I mean, when you see, dude, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I've never even said this out loud, but this is just the honest, dead truth, bro. I knew King Von was gonna die.
Oh
at
yeah.
some point. Because
Right.
I knew him as a killer before I knew him as a rapper.
Yeah.
He was Lil Durk shot. I knew that. So him going big in my mind was never gonna go up. Because that man, in my mind, from what I know, has killed like actual people.
Yeah.
And that's confirmed. I mean, and like he was really out there, and he's like abrasive, and he doesn't care. So, like the way he carried himself, he was asking for it. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, like I never want that for anyone. I don't want people to die. Like, I had to be honest with myself. When I was listening to music, I was like, this nigga is actually really out there. Yeah, he really has been out there. And that's kind of the weird, like, the flip on it, because like a lot of the times when I listen to rap, I'm like, I don't really want you to be dead ass serious about what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it has things. You know what I mean? Like you can't just say things like mean it.
Yeah.
Repercussions. At the same time, I don't want people to be fraudulent and I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's like when you listen to the people that do it, there's always kind of an underlying sadness, even when they're like at a moment doing perfectly fine, because you know they probably won't be, or what they're talking about is also, you know, other real like lots of real people dying, and especially, you know, living in you know, kind of a nicer like neighborhood, and like and when I listen to stuff like that in like going to university in like Scotland, it feels weird because and I always almost feel kind of bad about it because I'm listening to music that's about things that countless people have died for, and just kind of enjoying it, you know.
Yeah, and another
It
thing,
is kind of perverted.
Like, listen to it. It's like sometimes I get a feeling that the person feels trapped in the song. That's the only way for them to actually have an outlet. So it's a weird feeling where I'm just like, this person's telling me things, and he's telling me things that are in his soul. It's very personal. You know what I mean? It may not be in the most lyrical form. It may not be in the most whatever, but like this is this person's actual life. They can't escape this. Like this is they're not lying. Like you know what I mean? And so it's just kind of sometimes it does hit me sometimes that like it's just the way it is for some people. And like I feel blessed because I can enjoy it, right? For what it is, like the art that it is, but like I feel like every art form comes with a little bit of baggage for me. Like actually enjoying it. I like things that people.
Definitely. And I think Warren, I don't think you don't have to. I don't know how serious you are, but like I don't think you have to feel bad that you don't have to live like that. Just because you enjoying it and supporting it is what that artist wants, what they need, right?
Yeah, and I know I'm not like people who enjoy it. You like most people who enjoy it, they're not like enjoying the killing. You know, they're not enjoying the pain that comes, but they're kind of enjoying the feeling they get of getting to know someone who's sharing something really personal about themselves.
And the fact you get to support them too.
Yeah, and you know, and I think I kind of get another like level of appreciation for it, kind of seeing a lot of the stuff they're talking about, like from the outskirts, like, you know, seeing actual drillings and things like that. It does kind of like when they talk about it, it helps kind of understand in a way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But
I think a lot of people they'll try and think of like this is gonna get a little bit like political, but they try and think of solutions, bro, for I guess what's happening in the neighborhoods. But the reality of it is that it's so deep. It's
so
kind of ridiculous.
You have to ask people to do things that a human can't do.
Right.
People forget how real it actually is.
Like they
for
own
some people, it's
the
like,
project.
You killed my best friend.
Yeah.
So like you killed my brother.
Exactly.
Or like anything, like it's deeper than a political issue. It's deeper than a gang issue to many people in it. It's just not. It's one of those situations where it's just like it's really tough.
In kind of moving forward, like on a kind of to keep it like getting political. There's an issue a lot with the kind of more conservative Democrat approach to politics of incremental tiny adjustments to a broken system.
The programs and stuff like and don't get me wrong, I mean it might save a kid, you know, it might help someone,
and they're better than doing nothing, but
it is. Don't get me wrong, it 100% is, but like at the same time it's kind of like, oh, these people are lost.
Exactly. Like
this is a whole like different society. There's a whole different thing going on.
The three approaches to it are one, there's like the conservative backwards Ben Shapiro approach of just send in more police, that'll solve the problem. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like this is the most policed place on the planet. With more prisoners than every other country like in the world, not just by capita but by population. And then there's the kind of conservative traditional democratic approach of small incremental changes that are better than nothing but not nearly enough. And then there's the more leftist approach, which is the whole system is broken and small changes just aren't going to solve anything. Like adjustments to a broken system doesn't fix the system. It just kind of lets it go on for a little longer before it implodes.
Right. The little like
in the same
uh
sense, though.
yeah, the little incremental changes that they like Anthony, you were about to mention like Boys and Girls Club. Yo, like to be honest, the people who are running Boys and Girls Club are not they don't care that much. Like the people who are
Don't get me wrong though. No, that's a big like that's a misconception. I do think people actually care. Like you do lose hope though. You have to.
yeah.
Because there are
After
some situations.
seeing like generations of people come in, it's like,
Right.
yo, what?
Right. Once you see, because there's been times, dog, when there's a person in the Boys and Girls Club, they have like a favorite kid who got shot.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like these are people too. They're not robots, and so when it starts to break them down too, when they're in a situation where they feel like they're in a helpless position, they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
In their minds, you know what I mean? Like a fucking Boys and Girls Club isn't gonna save the streets. It's just a mindset.
And this is why
that's sad.
Yeah. And this is why pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, the traditional American phrase, which is,
which was made to be like not like genuine,
like to make fun of that position because it's impossible to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but it's impossible to it's extremely difficult to like for a community to pull itself up by its bootstraps after this after centuries of this. It just can't be done, and it just gets worsened and worsened with the type of like for example in Georgia, just like today, they passed legislature so that after the because of the Democrat winning the Senate, they passed legislature so that limiting like voting like mail ballot like drop locations and making it so that early voting on like Sunday time is like limited because a lot of the turnout from Black communities in Georgia was by these programs made by like Black churches on like for like voting like after church.
Right.
And they made it so that that can't be done. It specifically, to make it so Black people can't vote as much there. And it's like tiny incremental changes on top of the massive systemic changes in the wrong direction like this are just it's just appalling.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, and it honestly it makes me question if we ever like went forward as not even as a fucking country. Dude, I did a J term, and this is something I'll never forget in my life. I sat in a computer lab researching the amount of politicians that Mexican drug cartels killed in the past 10 years.
Oh.
I didn't stop scrolling. I didn't finish.
10 years.
Yeah.
I was there for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't finish. I didn't talk to anybody else. Nothing. I was just scrolling down, looking at the amount of people who've died since 2010.
Yeah.
Like real big. I was like, what in the hell is going on in Mexico?
And the root, the root of all of these problems too is and I'll explain this specifically with the cartels is capitalism. It's especially Western imperialist capitalism, and how this happened and the rise of the cartels happened is the white people came and took all the land, and then paid farmers a below living wage, an abysmal wage, to farm bananas, specifically bananas in a lot of places, so that they then get sold by the Western capitalists, who then continue to make all the money because they took all the land. And then, after these countries gained their independence, this still happened because it was just like in the US, it was the white colonists that got their independence, not the native oppressed peoples. And then, uh, centuries and decades later, the cartels came and said, if you take this land that you're already farming, you grow coca instead of bananas, we'll pay you much more. We'll build a school in your neighborhood. We'll build a hospital in your neighborhood, and we'll sell it to America. Mainly, well, it'll mainly go to America. What are you gonna do? You're gonna keep selling bananas while your community's dying?
It wouldn't make sense, right?
It
wouldn't make zero sense.
And it,
Yo, it's such a big called the butterfly effect.
We gotcha.
You got it. You got it.
You're getting there.
Take your time. Take your time.
Dude, the opium crisis today is, I mean, what the fuck?
yeah.
Oh, it's abysmal.
It's
It's affecting literally
No, it's
everywhere. There's everyone. It's got it. I don't think there's anyone who either doesn't know somebody or knows someone who knows someone who's been affected by just opioids in some way.
I mean, it's the next crack epidemic, and a lot of people aren't even batting an eye to it.
Yeah.
Aren't even doing it because I mean, it's so sudden. The crack epidemic was a different thing because I mean, you look at a crack and you're like, that it's not crack.
And
Shout out to
crack
Ronald Reagan, I
epidemic,
guess.
Yeah, that was funding, the government funding militias that fought against democratically elected socialist governments in countries like Guatemala, and funding them by buying drugs from them and specifically having them delivered to black neighborhoods, and then specifically criminalizing crack, which is a different form of just cocaine than cocaine, because cocaine was the rich white person drug, so that's just a slap on the wrist. But crack, no, that's 20 years in prison for you, sometimes life sentences for nonviolent drug offenses with crack.
So that was that whole different thing where they were just, I mean, that's just an attack on a lot of minorities.
Attack on minorities in America, and then democratically elected governments in South America.
Yeah, but this is just people are dying. There is no sense to this. It's just people dying. Overdoses everywhere. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know where to start.
It's fucking all this stuff. The worst thing about it, especially for I guess people like me or you guys, there's not really anything that we can do. Maybe there's something that we, the greater we, the people, can do. But there's nothing that you or I can do, really.
Yeah.
So we just kind of have to sit and watch it happen.
Are fucked.
Right, and no, not even, honestly, not even a good handful of people is gonna be able to do anything. Everyone needs to do something, and getting everyone to do something feels nigh impossible. And that's where we get the sense of a lot of people just sort of get stuck in this sense of hopelessness and despair.
Yeah.
And especially those affected by it feel the need to fall, to lean into their what's the word? To turn into the skid, because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. And
and then there's a whole other group of people, the Ben Shapiro's of the world, who say, no, I mean, what the fuck are they doing? Why are these people doing these things?
I honestly
they just need to make better choices.
You have these people who won't listen. I mean, they're completely turned off. Their brains are turned off.
Those people who don't listen, they can't be they can't be that stupid, right? They have to be doing it intentionally. Most of them.
I mean,
it's the same with climate change and and the opioid crisis and all of these issues. People like Ben Shapiro, Republican politicians,
They know exactly what they're doing. They are profiting off of it. They know climate change is real. They know the opioid crisis isn't just caused by a bunch of bad decisions, but this is how they make their money. The political leaders, they're most of them, not people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but most of them are educated enough to know that they're full of shit. But the people who they sell this to are either the people who profit from it, the capitalists themselves, the pharmaceutical company leaders, the oil company leaders, all these people, and then the people the people that they sell this to are a lot of people like white Americans who are more working class and feel alienated because of feeling that that the liberals are saying that they have no real problems and stuff like that, and they feel like people coming into their country taking their jobs, and that they're worse off because of the leftists, and they get lied uh, to believe these things. But yeah, it's amazing.
And we're in a big fucking hole, bro. We're in a big, deep hole.
And the technology and the internet just makes it worse. Honestly.
No, that's what I was about to say.
I just
day-to-day conversation.
I just fucking for a class. I mean, it's not like it was an important classroom, but we had to watch a documentary for homework, and we watched The Social Dilemma, which more or less just talks about how fucked social media has become. Not like, oh man, it's so toxic, but just like algorithms and the shit that like social media companies, the shit that Google, the shit that Facebook, the stuff that they do that maybe it didn't begin with being like something malicious. I mean, maybe not with Facebook, but turned into this thing that has just completely divided and just polarized most of, especially like America. I would highly recommend. I mean, it's a little spooky. A little bit is also like over dramatized in the wrong kind of way, but for the most part, I would highly recommend watching it just to feel that effect.
Most QAnon supporters were and supporters of other white supremacists and other right-wing conspiratorial groups were advertised those Facebook groups on Facebook.
Right. Because it's like, oh, you like fishing? Have you tried the Jews are building a space laser? Like on like
or like, oh, you're into a lot of this stuff. That means you might be interested in these flat Earth conspiracy groups. Oh, you're receptive to that. You might be receptive to this now, and then oh, you like that, and it just sends them down this pipeline. It gets kids.
Yeah, kids,
children.
Like teenagers, and like I get it. Like we're still technically teenagers, but like teenagers, young teenagers, or kids who are like 9 or honestly like 8 to like 15, they'll just eat shit up. Like you can't. There's so many kids who just like will read it and it's like, or read it or learn something, and because they got it from someone, they just trust it, and it's like, yes, this is now part of.
In 2016,
it's not
I used
their
to watch
fault.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
And I watched the person who went on to found the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
I
used to think that his witty comebacks were
that
he was right.
Exactly.
And that everything he was saying was truth. So I used to eat that shit up too.
I also watch Steven Crowder.
Yup.
Who goes on a random public sidewalk with some opinion.
Yeah.
Over.
You know what really made me sad about Steven Crowder? Nothing to do with him. Like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't give a shit about him. But I mean, I found out that he graduated from the school I'm at right now. He graduated from my college, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be here.
No. I mean but it's stuff like that. That's another guy. He might be the worst one because you're showing kids that you're dominating.
Yeah, no, people now, and it's not just like, I mean, obviously these people are playing a big role, but like the way that politics and arguments and discussions work nowadays, people can't differentiate winning an argument and just harassing the person you're arguing, basically.
It's not even, but that's all good and well, right? You can that's just how some things work in some arguments, but. The problem I have is that some people really don't understand that you walked up there with a binder and months of research on this one topic that you're going to be discussing. knowing what side you're going to take, and it, probably what angles you're going to take that side. And think about like, what you can say.
Honestly, most of these debates that happen between these like right-wing people and left-wing people, what they boil down to is people like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and whatnot. They cite sources, right, which makes it look good in a debate. But then you look into
Oh my
those
God.
sources and they either
The
completely
dog shit.
contradict what they're saying or they're fake.
Dog shit.
Like, but
The
you
dog
can't
shit.
discern that in the middle of a debate.
You can't. You literally would have to pull out your phone and just fact check it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And that
it's
takes work.
ridiculous.
And so the
They
audience is
lie.
gonna do it.
They
Right.
lie. Literally. Bro,
That's how they
I
make
used to
the
watch
money,
Ben
bro.
Shapiro. I
That's how they
literally
make the
fact
money.
checked one thing because it just sounded a little bit weird. It was about systemic racism. I was like, I don't know about this. I fact checked it, and no. Watch them. Wasn't even there.
Or
Yeah,
like,
that's when I
oh,
first
I
stopped
watched
listening to
watched
it.
some guy talking about a PragerU video, and he's like, let's fact check this right now. The citation that PragerU used was from their website. Like they cited themselves. I'm like,
Jesus.
okay,
No, I mean,
Big brain.
big brain
Yeah,
movement
and
right
they're
brain
kind of
moment.
the same guys who advocate for like freedom of speech and open discourse, but they won't let the other side actually
Mhm.
have discourse. It's
Right.
always
No.
just one-sided.
Oh
These
yeah,
super powerful arguments.
they're
Jeez.
super obsessed with thinking that they're in some type of 1984 Orwellian society because they look at things like and they bring up the same like talking points about cancel culture and whatnot over and over again, and it's all an illusion. Like it's
Yeah, it's a complete just facade.
they don't feel like they just need it's like they just lie and sell things to feel like they need recognition because they're all just going through their own master slave Hegelian dialectics inside themselves. And
no, it's ridiculous.
They've just it's just like the white Christian like victim complex, basically.
Mhm.
Oh,
No, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
like
yeah, that's
it's,
a good one.
I don't know how to get
Yeah.
else into it, but it's what it is. It's like there are like especially I mean I guess like evangelical Christians or whatever the fuck. Like and I know Ben Shapiro isn't Christian, but it's the same sort of like mentality of like
but he dog
somehow
whistles to those people.
right like but somehow these people like they both want to be like the dominant, the best, whatever, but they
Mhm.
also feel like they like the desire to be in their sort of like the Jews in Egypt or like they want to be
Yeah.
they want to be persecuted so bad.
Yeah. They want a villain
Yeah.
that kind of that constantly harasses them and poses a threat to them, and they do that through so many means by just like
They
saying
do
that that's
it-
what the left is in general, saying that that's what Muslims are.
They do it in every angle, though. That's my
Yeah.
problem. I mean, there's some things. Hey, I watched a video. Not Ben Shapiro. Steven Crowder goes onto the street in a college campus, and one day says, "Yeah, rape culture is a myth. Prove me wrong."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
okay.
big one.
Okay.
That was hard to watch because there was
You
women
see-
coming up to him that were raped and had experienced this culture.
and are emotionally charged to the max.
Yeah.
And that's what they get too.
And then-
It's like
And then they what he gets is the people who are like more kind of distantly looking onto it will just see that and think that's so stupid. I'm not going to waste my time with this guy. And the people who would be more likely to go up to him and the people that he would cut out for his videos would be the people who have had personal experiences with it and are therefore more emotional, rightfully
Mhm.
so, because they've gone
Well, so
through
he would
super
walk up to a
horrific
random
things.
person.
So he can just harass them and make them look like idiots.
And they because they're still like upset in the moment, and
Yeah.
obviously they don't have a
Rightfully
binder in front of
so.
them.
it's
They
the same
have
thing with it's the perception of the argument that it was before. It's like people think that having an emotional connection, being affected by what you're talking about, somehow means you're lesser. You have to be some sort of like emotionless talking like this, like yes, like shut the fuck up. Like if you don't care about what you're arguing, shut the fuck up. Like just
Right.
leave it alone.
What people like Ben Shapiro and like Candace Owens and people like that, what they do is they act as people to kind of make it look like, see, we're not racist or something like that, because look at me, I'm Jewish. Look at me, black. But what they do is like Ben Shapiro, whenever he's talking about things like the LGBTQ stuff, and he quotes something that's in the, even if it's in the Old Testament of the Bible, he says it's in specifically the Bible, not the Torah. They just talk to their like their like white Christian audience, their white and their white like conservative audience and their white racist audience, and they make them feel like they're not racist because they're watching a Jewish person say the same things that Tucker Carlson says, or they're watching like a black woman say the same thing that Tucker Carlson says or that Donald Trump says.
Candace Owens specifically pisses me off.
Oh my god.
She definitely uses like her blackness as like as an.
Oh, I mean,
Well, I mean, because she's definitely paid for it, obviously.
I mean, you could see like she used to be like a kind of like advocate for like the like Democratic Party and whatnot, but she just kind of was a failed politician and a failed kind of public figure, and she started talking about like right-wing things, and she got tons of traction and tons of money. She rolled with it
because that's the thing. I saw a podcast about this, and they're just talking about how, because if you go into a space like a conservative space as a minority, as a black person, as a woman, and you're saying the same things they're saying, they treat you with like a whole like heap of respect, and they start listening to your voice because your voice makes them feel less racist or like less bigoted.
Like all the like Hispanics for Trump and whatnot that they'd have like to talk about how Trump isn't racist, and those are largely white Hispanics, like Spaniards and stuff, like that are not minorities. Like they're not, but they're either that, they're like Croyos or like something like that. They're never, they're very rarely gonna be like any really like kind of Latino or anyone like that. Like they're
intelligent.
Or intelligent.
I don't know
like,
why a random person of a certain ethnicity is gonna make me think that if they support you, it's gonna make me think that.
That's like you being a race is not an appeal to authority. Like it's like when you see videos like recommended to you on YouTube or something like that. That's like Japanese person reacts to History of Japan video by like it's like, okay, I don't care. Like maybe if you're like a Japanese history teacher or something, you're just some random fucking dude.
And he's just like, yeah, I think they deserve that. Like,
so we're gonna piss off the Japanese React.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And that's the only people we're pissing off so far.
Yes, no, everything else is completely baseline,
safe,
very safe.
All good, all good. We're not
Podcast gets taken down 2 days later. Fuck, dude. Shit.
Man, this is why I get stopped by security 15 times when I go on a plane and get searched for bombs 4 times in the same flight.
Yeah.
No, man. Oh my god. Living in Boston, I thought I had the experience, dude. But you know how many times when I would come in, because when I was younger, I wouldn't stop wearing basketball clothing. I wouldn't stop. I loved it, right? I was comfortable. I was walking. But if I went into a store carrying a basketball and I had my backpack and a jacket on in winter, I was gonna get followed.
Oh
and
my god.
That was just regardless. It didn't matter.
Holy
and I
shit.
would look behind me and I'd be like, bro, you're not even trying to be like inconspicuous. You're very obvious following you.
Like at least when me and Caleb were at the Harvard Art Museum, that one like if you remember Caleb, like we were together there and someone kept like one security guard kept following specifically Caleb around, and
no, I think it was after you, dude.
What is this? The plot of National Treasure? Like what?
Like I'm about to pull like a Nicolas Cage or some shit.
Yeah, right. Like he's just gonna steal the.
Kagan was in the other room, and he's much more untrustworthy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, though, right?
Yeah, but at least you were trying to be subtle about it.
Yeah, well, I did actually steal a painting, though. That's the thing. Caleb was just my plant. I knew that.
What really gets me with this is when people will say things like, "Oh, well, the Jews aren't complaining anymore, and 6 million of them died," and like and that'll be on like TikTok, bro.
Sorry, who?
And get millions of views, and you'll have people in the comments like, right, like why don't you just like forgive the white people? You know what I'm saying? Like, just let it go. And it's like,
It was
first of all,
slavery was over.
they got a national apology. Let's start with that. And they're not dying anymore. We still have people dying. I mean, dude, it's big.
But when and when they like when like a synagogue or something like that gets shot up,
Oh my
and
goodness.
and when they try and talk about things like gun problems and whatnot, it's like, why are you politicizing this? But also, you're right, there is far more privilege for like white religious minorities and whatnot, especially with the like with nowadays with like Israel
Yeah,
and
they're
the
getting a country. What the
Palestine
fuck they're
conflict. I
complaining
mean,
Or
Israel,
the Uyghurs, bro, in
Israel,
China,
yeah,
Oh yeah, with
they're getting
the
persecuted over
yeah,
it, bro.
they're
Like,
right.
the,
I
the
mean, people are
Uyghurs are
not talking
getting
about
Yeah,
it.
fucked
I
on.
mean,
It's horrible.
yeah. Oh my God.
Except maybe I shouldn't have said
But-
fucked on as like my description for the persecution of a group, but
Getting fucked on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the same thing is
Fucking one shot, bro.
but yeah, with like Israel is like what America does is it uses Israel as a military for like bombings and whatnot in the Middle East and for persecution of the Palestinian people, which we support full-heartedly. But and there has been a systemic kind of attempt to lower to not oppress, like, because there is still a lot of there is still persecution of Jewish people in the West and in America, like that does still happen, but
No, I don't.
it happens a lot. I mean, one of the senators, Marjorie Taylor Greene, believes that Californian forest fires are caused by Jewish space lasers. An
Trying to
elected
open space
official.
stations.
But what it does is like white Americans and whatnot, white conservative Democrats and white conservative Republicans, they associate like Judaism and like they associate that and Christianity being like good white religions, and so that's how there's like public support for the persecution of the Palestinian people, and by 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 just thinking that, like, of course Netanyahu's in his full right to keep pushing Palestinian territory back, or to not give them vaccines, or to keep building up his like military and war crimes against Palestinian people. It, and since we have the strategic advantage of using Israel as a military offshoot and being racist, we fuel those flames, and so it is different. Like, everything is way more complicated than just, oh, slavery was 100 years ago, the Jews are fine now, so what's up with that? Or like, oh, there's the model minority, Asian immigrants, when that was also a specifically directed thing, and also hate crimes against Asian Americans have rose up so much because of Trump's rhetoric. But
Yeah.
in the 92 LA riots, I think it's called kettling. The government made it so that the police would protect the rich white neighborhoods and directed the riots to Koreatown, to kind of have this like Asian on black kind of narrative, and have it so that we're not talking about systemic problems with white people anymore, that other minorities now are in less support of the of like the like black protests. It's when it's all boiled down by these fucking idiots, because someone just listening to this, some conservative farmer person or something like that, watching Ben Shapiro, he's not going to look into all of this, of course. I mean, I wouldn't. I would just look at that and be like, I mean, that makes sense to me. It was 150 years ago.
Right.
It's all way too
Yeah,
complicated for that.
Can't acknowledge it.
And we are all qualified. Guitar.
And we are
Brain
all
hurts.
qualified.
I
My
mean,
brain hurts.
we're no less qualified than Ben Shapiro, but you know, it's
Of course, yeah, no, he's a gentleman and a scholar.
that's yeah. I don't. Where do we go from there? That's the question. We just.
That's question corner.
That's right. That's question corner.
Do you want
Da
to?
da 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 da
See,
da
that's
da
the
da.
thing. I was gonna
Okay, let
say
me
like
pull my
we
list.
hit one.
Oh,
We hit an hour
sorry.
30.
Yeah, we did hit an hour 30. So you know
Yeah,
that's why we gotta
for
get
one question.
to no, we'll go through it. We gotta get a tone change so people aren't fucking depressed.
Yeah,
But so
I
so
have a
you had a
problem with doing this in every conversation.
So you want me to go down the list, or like what you want me to do?
well like so you have so explain your questions. Like what's you just when you're bored every day you just clock in questions basically.
So yeah, so basically when I have nothing to do, or like when I'm reading something and a question pops up that makes me think about it for like maybe an hour, and as I talk to myself explaining the question, it still like doesn't fully explain what I want to say out, you know what I mean? No? Yes, and then if I can't fully I myself can't fully explain it, I'll write it down. But if I can like somewhat get out what I'm trying to say, then I don't write it down.
I see.
Yeah.
So you have like a that could be a thing that we do. Like we
It's
just
it's a question.
that
It's-
question.
what's the most recent one that you think would be it's a good question? What do you got? What do you got in the bank?
Sure. So recently, right? I've been joining more random Discord calls and servers as I play games online. What they were like, like you play like an FPS game and they just like, yo, we're a group of 4 men and we're missing one guy. You want to join our call? I'm like, yeah, sure. Right? So the question that pops up, right, is what's something people seem to misunderstand about you the most and why? Because when I join their call and I talk a certain way, they think the majority of them has called me either you're white American or you're black. I've never been called Asian ever.
Really?
Huh.
That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
they
That's
call me they
Wait, you're
call
not
me
black?
white. Yeah, they call me white and then like 6 out of 10 times or 11 times they call me like white. The other is just black. I'm like, how do you get black? How do you visually think that I am black just
Yeah, it's
by
very
the
obvious.
tone of my voice, like the accent that comes out when I pronounce some words and the
Yeah.
way that I speak? How do you get to black?
I don't know.
And then I sat there and pondered about that question, like how, why? And then the conclusion I come to is I have no idea.
I think
And I wrote down the question.
I don't know. That for you, real quick, but just for you, you've worked a lot on your your American accent.
I tried. I have to hide my Asian
So
accent
if
sometimes.
because I remember your voice when like you just came to the United States,
Shit.
I still visualize, I still hear it in my mind's eye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I try and like literally what you were talking about, I was isolating your voice. I was like, huh, you know, like it's missing the same things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
but-
a lot better over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black, I don't know. I don't know how people find out I'm black. Like as soon as I get on like voice chat,
It's the
Maybe
base.
the first word we say is usually negative.
I don't say nigga. It's just you, Kadar.
Just, you know what?
But when I
You
do
just-
that, everyone knows I'm white.
How do I get
No,
black?
Yeah,
I don't
no,
say
I
those.
don't
I
know.
don't say it.
This is certainly like I don't know, like the way I feel like I sound a bit white. Like I don't know why it is because like I feel like black people kind of have like a deeper tone in general, but like it's not the same tone as like a deep voice black person, deep voice white person. It's just
Oh yeah, I feel that. You can tell from like their tone of voice that what they are. Yeah.
I think a lot of people today, they kind of just assume being uneducated means that you're black, and if you sound educated, that probably means you're not black, which is kind of concerning.
Yeah,
actually
or
very
Yeah,
like
that's-
people say black people are talking white. Like that's a phrase that gets used a lot.
right.
like there's this
you're,
one.
you're whitewashed or something. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, come on.
Like there's this one person that I listen to, like a podcast he does, and like watch some videos of. Oh shit, his name is Jarvis Johnson, and you know he just sounds normal, and he talks about, and he's a black guy, and he talks about how people often tell him that he's like talking white or something like that, but in reality he never even, he didn't even like know any white people growing up. That's just how he talks.
What's
Like
his name
people
again?
just, Jarvis Johnson,
Jarvis Johnson. Oh, okay. I
like
think
people just
yeah.
talk differently, you know, sometimes. Like there's not one way of talking like a black person or one way of talking like a white person. It's, but yeah, Kadar's got a point. People just, you know, associate uneducatedness and sounding uneducated. That's what that means.
I think it also
Yeah.
has to do with experience for that individual person a lot.
Yeah.
Like for me specifically, the way that I talk comes from the fact that I grew up until I was 14. I didn't really know white people. So like I've literally been talking to black people this way my whole life.
Mhm.
So I got into BTA and I'm meeting Asian people, and I'm still cussing. and I'm not articulate. I'm not going to use a big word if I don't have to. Like it's just the way I am. You know what I'm saying, like
Right.
for another person who may be more articulate or naturally inclined to just be just like more more comfortable talking to different people, they may have like a more quote unquote normal way of talking.
Right.
As me specifically, I'm very used to talking black.
That's fair.
Like it's
That's fair.
just
That's
kind of
fair.
if you get around more people,
Yeah.
you kind of get a more smoothed out way of talking.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I
Dude, for
think-
me though, like when I'm playing an FPS game, like when I get too hyped, that's when people call me black, bro. I don't understand why.
I think there's also some
Somebody can do that.
explanation that boils down to racism. Because like I'm willing
Yeah.
to bet that most of the people who are like were saying, "Oh, that sounds like you're black," is probably just other white people.
Because also, why would
Probably. Yeah,
might
it's more
be lack of
likely a
exposure.
white man calling me black.
That's just a lack of exposure. I don't think they just get around.
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of the racism is like almost most racism is like really
That's all
implicit.
racism to my
Like
knowledge.
no, like a lot of
all
it's like explicit. Like, you know, like thinking to myself, like I don't like that person they look untrustworthy. But a lot of it is lack of exposure leading to implicit understandings or misunderstandings.
Right.
Like there's this
That's
one
fair.
YouTuber that I watched for like Call of Duty tips and tricks and shit. And this is a guy that I watch you for Call of Duty, not for you. Right? But like I got bored with it. So I clicked on it like a personal video. He was talking about the fact that he was raised by racist people. His dad was an actual dead ass racist. Like he said that in his household. Like he was that's just the way he was raised. And so he gets out and he kind of just has that, like he didn't go to school black people. Like gets to college and that shit doesn't fly. So he told the audience, he's like, I had to get my ass beat a couple times, like more than a few, because I just had certain things about me that I just thought, and like just I had to learn a certain way, and I've come to learn. Like this was in the video talking about like Black Lives Matter and stuff. Like he was talking about all the cool. He was like, so it was kind of a way to say, is possible for a person to like come around. It's like a lot of it is ignorance. Like you can't really be a person who's not ignorant and racist. It just doesn't make sense.
I think
Yeah.
I think the way we approach it though is definitely like I imagine that he came around because someone was like, okay, I get that, or like they were just ready to like open up, explain, or like just
Right. Well, he became he became friends with those black people. Like it's not like he just got curb stomped, left on the corner. He was like, okay, I'm not racist.
I mean, it goes to show that like
happened too.
gotta get your ass beat. You know, if you're, that's why you gotta beat racists. Then
Right,
maybe they'll
but the
be
fact that
slightly
they're
less
able to be
racist.
the fact that they become friends is definitely like
Yeah, I'm definitely very happy that I got to BT as early as I did, because on the path that I think that I was definitely headed, I probably wouldn't be culturally aware like I am today if I didn't get to BTA. Because I think, well,
Same.
first of all, before I got to BTA, I hadn't seen a white person ever in my neighborhood or even at school. So it's pretty similar to Anthony. So I
Hmm.
think if I had gotten to BTA any later, bro, it probably would have been
That's
set to the
that's
opposite.
fair.
It's
Maybe I
you're
already
fine,
would
Kadar. White people don't have culture. You don't have anything to learn. It's okay.
And
Well, that's kind of relatable.
Weirdly
though.
enough,
Yeah.
Like,
I would argue the opposite because
Yeah.
to be completely honest with you, I went to BTA for a long time, hanging around minorities. To be honest with you, I mean, I hung around the people who I could get around and like be more comfortable with. Up until junior year and senior year, where I walk into the art room and I see a bunch of white people drawing shit, and I'm like, wow. I mean, and so the more I learned,
These white people and their doodles, man. It's crazy.
No,
No,
I mean,
it.
it was like a joke though, but like you do have to understand that this is kind of what happens when you joke to an ignorant person. I used to like people used to say to me, "White people have no culture," and I'd be like, "Sure, am I gonna argue with you? I don't know white people." So like it was just in my head. I didn't believe it. Like I wouldn't have fucking went to war with that idea and like been like, "Oh my god, like you must think that white people have no culture." I didn't think that, but like it was just I was never gonna argue with that
Yeah,
until I started talking to Warren, Kagan, and
Right.
Bernie.
I
That's
think
what I'm
that-
saying. Like I think
that-
definitely hearing Warren talk about Vikings.
Well, yeah, but like that's
Yo.
not.
You know what I'm
There,
saying?
when
That's
we
not-
s- when people or when most people say, "Oh, white people have no culture," like I believe that because it's not because white people it's not a thing. We don't.
Yeah.
It's
isn't
it's a
a
thing.
I
white
disagree. I think it is a thing. I think
No,
it is a thing. I think you guys have your own thing going on.
I think there's
I
a
agree with
there's like white American cultures, right?
Yeah.
There are different white American cultures. There's not a single white culture, really. There's some commonalities between multiple white cultures, but like for like I'm like Spanish and Swedish, and any other Spaniards out there, you are white. Stop saying you're not. You're not a
You're white.
like. I mean,
Man.
but the Spanish culture and Swedish culture are like complete fucking opposites. I mean, one of them is like Spanish culture. There's different Spanish cultures. Like I have family that's Catalonian and Andalusian, which themselves are kind of complete opposites. But saying that there isn't white culture, and I think that type of expression is what people like what makes a lot of white Americans feel isolated and makes them kind of driven to things like with like Vikings. I don't I like Nordic culture, but not like but Vikings like are a romanticized thing that is used by white supremacists because it looks like because on a surface level, and it's been with all the propaganda over the course of the past few centuries using Vikings like the old German operas that were part of nationalist movements to kind of as an example of like I think Vikings specifically as an example of white culture is
Right.
like I
Yeah,
understand what you mean,
That's a start.
but
It's
like
dangerous.
Vikings,
Like
well, there isn't a Viking like what that's conceived. It is a start, but like not what is conceived as Viking culture, like the TV show
Right, yeah,
Viking stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like the QAnon shaman having like Valknut tattooed on him. Like that's not like when people would when like a historian might refer to Viking culture, they refer to like medieval early Christian Scandinavian culture. And then pre-Christian Scandinavian culture or other Nordic pre-Christian cultures in un-Scandinavian Nordic countries are, is different too. But like the what the Viking culture is, and like the air quotes Viking culture, and I was a part of this like implicitly a part of this. The romanticization of like they're the perfect warriors and and all that. They were all beautiful like blonde 7 foot tall people with braided hair and were all bodybuilders.
They're tatted.
Oh,
They were pretty like
man.
short and lanky usually, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, they
Sexy.
were taller than
7 foot.
they on average they were
God.
taller than like a lot of people. They had like a lot of them were braided, a lot of them had some tattoos, but
7-foot
Vikings themselves, like the idea of the foot sex god comes from white supremacist, like white supremacist dog whistling that goes back to early 20th century, the the Wagner, and and further, but in studying actual Nordic cultures, though, there's a whole bunch of different ones. That's and that would be an example of, like, white culture, or like a lot of uh like Pictish culture or something,
Right.
Doric and Celtic things, and whatnot, and
Amen.
like Eastern European culture. But and in America, you have different cultures within it, like Irish Bostonian culture is different. It's like its own thing. It's like
Right.
separate from like Italian. Also, Italians,
So separate.
you're also not minorities. But like
Not at
a lot of Mediterranean Europeans like to project themselves as minorities, or like, oh no, I'm technically Hispanic, or like, oh, I'm Italian and we were oppressed once, because of the alienation they feel when having to confront white privilege. But yeah,
Wow.
A lot of flack coming into Boston, man.
Then how did the
Yeah.
question
Fuck are
got
you?
into this conversation?
well, you asked a question about race.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
I asked the question. What's the
About-
Yeah,
one
he was
thing
talking
that
about people
misunderstood
assuming stuff
We can
about one
get back to
another.
that,
Okay.
though, because that
About
is
you.
kind of interesting.
I
That was the
mean-
question.
People always say I'm white, but in reality, I'm very black.
Yeah. I mean, people thought I
Trying to tell you, bro. Army and Vaughn are black. I don't claim you. Don't care. Never have, never will. Don't care.
like 3 years ago, people were like, "Oh, Keegan Smith, yeah, that's a black name."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo.
No.
What?
I'm trying to tell you. I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you for the longest time.
But
Bro.
genuinely though,
I
what
had
would
one
you say?
conversation with Warren. I was like, "That's my nigga." Real nigga.
But I also am Caleb, so I mean, really, we don't know.
Yeah,
You
we
are-
did
we don't know.
establish Tavian and
Yeah.
Caleb. Are-
I
It's
mean,
it's a gradient.
I don't know if I've ever like told this story, but I remember, I think it was 7th grade. I tried to like convince Warren to say the N word, because like I really fuck with you, bro. He was like my dude. I was like, yo, bro, just say it. You my guy.
Just say it. I did the same thing for Arnie. I tried so hard for a full night. I'm talking like a full night, from like 9 to like 3. I was like, yo, just say it once. Just whisper. I'll never talk about this, bro. I swear to God, I won't say a word. He just didn't do it. I was like, this is so
Neither
gay.
did
Like,
Warren,
say
and I
it.
was like, come on,
You
bro.
tried
Like, you're my
again in the
guy.
9th grade too.
Did I?
Nigga,
Yeah.
nigga.
I did, because I really wanted you to like
Yeah.
be a part of my
Gotta say it.
gang. Like,
Gotta just
God.
point it out.
Dude.
Point it out. That's black.
And I don't
Just-
know. I was just like, yeah,
just do
you're
your
my
thing.
guy. You're my guy. You
You
rep
got
with
to.
me. Yeah,
Bro,
no.
If you guys, I try to tell you, if Warren or Arnie ever said the N word, I wouldn't blink twice. Swear to God.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, oh shit.
Yeah, but
Back to that question though, because that is a good question. I do like
so
that.
I can't answer because this is kind of gets back to the race thing. I don't know what it is. Especially, I don't know why I'm talking like that now, but like when people first meet me, it's always this like, I don't know what, I've heard this a few times. It was like, he just sounds black. I'm like, what?
Hmm?
And I think people expect too much. Like, I don't know. Like when they hear my voice, I don't know. But I've been told a lot that my voice just sounds black. They get to know me, and it's like, okay, like you're a goofball. You don't kind of act like stereotypical black that I
Yeah.
expected, right? And if you ever see me excited, my voice like fucking a shriek. I don't know. I don't try to, but whatever.
It comes
But
out now.
yeah, I don't. What was it? I don't know. I think people when they hear me, first hear me, I think they expect me to be a like more stereotypical black, or be a type of black where I'm trying to prove that I'm black because I'm light skinned, right? Like I'm trying to prove that. Yeah,
I don't
and I'm not.
remember my first like impression of you, to be honest. It's been too long.
It has been for me.
I'm like,
I thought Caleb was white for 4 years.
Damn.
But
just didn't go out in the sun.
think if you see my name first before you see me, I think you just get confused.
Yeah, weird combination of names.
Yeah, it's
my dad's name is Caleb, so I first saw you and I was like, "Fuck, I don't like that."
It's always
And I
weird
saw
when you
Scott.
like someone's got the same
Scott
name
part,
as someone
yeah,
else,
the
you know.
Scott part's like what?
No, but the Scott part is one of my favorite teachers.
Oh
Elementary school,
God!
Mr.
So
Scott.
I needed
Yeah,
to be
second grade. He sang me a song for my birthday. I'll never forget it. He had whipped out the guitar. I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah,
Nice.
So yeah, weird combinations you have there. It just don't fit together in my mind.
What was the question, Dad?
It was like, what do people assume about you? Like,
yeah, let me
Right?
what's something people seem to misunderstand about you?
Oh.
That's the question.
Actually, yo, this is like me and Caleb, like we'll talk about this a lot. But when I first got to VTA, bro, I tried really hard to just be funny all the time, nonstop.
Yeah.
And so like by the time I had reached like junior year, I felt like that's all people thought about me.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
like, but if I like speak to other people, like we'll have like really deep conversations, but
Yeah.
like no one would ever try and actually get there with me. It was always just, yeah, tell a joke, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of good, bro. Stay away.
Yeah, the people who didn't know you very well just thought you were always extremely hyper and funny and stuff. But you know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's actually a little
Very
bitch that goes to sleep at 11. Could never hang at sleepovers, man. Never could. You just go to sleep.
That is true, bro.
That's
You
true.
sleep early, bro.
Man. Yeah.
Anyone else?
All right, I'm gonna go next, but here's the weird thing about this. I don't know what to say.
It's all good,
like,
bro.
Okay, because there's this weird things that happen when I meet people, right? Like, I've had people tell me I look like a drug dealer. I don't believe that. And I've had people tell me a lot of different, like, if you're talking about just like if I hopped in a Discord call and I started speaking, I feel like people misunderstand that half the time I speak words, they're jokes, like sarcasm, and I'm not serious at all. I don't care about anything I'm saying. Like, that's just something that I'm gonna do. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have mental illness. I just have to make a joke. Like, it's not weirdly. It's kind of not a joke though. So like you just have to learn, and that's just one thing. Other thing, the first impression thing when you meet me, I don't understand people. I don't know what that is. I don't know why people have certain.
I don't either. I know. Well, in line with the first podcast we did, where we kind of did a little round table of like, of basically more or less our first impressions of each other, kind of thing. I remember
right now. I wasn't there.
Right. Well, because I remember Anthony from like basically honestly like just 10th and 11th grade. I just thought you hated me. I was like that. I was like whatever.
Here we go.
You didn't get a fair chance. You didn't get a fair chance, Kate. You were trying to get with Audrey. That's the first thing I ever knew about you. So I used to look at you as the guy that's trying to get with Audrey because I didn't care about anything else. And Audrey was a pretty close friend of mine. And so I was thinking, he fucks up. That's all that was in my mind. So it wasn't about you. Yeah, like that was. You didn't get a fair chance. Like you don't really count. It's like.
I remember Anthony. Me and you were kind of low key beefing because of lacrosse for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yo.
Oh yeah, I remember Warren. You would talk shit about Anthony all the time.
I did. I was so pissed after like some games.
It's crazy because that's another misunderstanding. I don't have beefs. Like in my mind, I don't think about an argument after.
In my mind, that was like my first real beef for a while. Like I was like, after there was like some lacrosse games because we didn't know each other very well, but we were on a team that was really bad generally.
Yeah,
and
there was a lot of new players.
It was not because everyone was bad athletes or didn't care. It was a lot of new players in a sport that required not only a lot of athleticism but also a lot of technical skills, which we didn't get the proper coaching for. And so me and Anthony in games, because we really cared and we wanted to win, we'd get angry a lot and we'd start fucking yelling at each other. Like I remember it was, I think 10th grade or like something. It was either 10th or 11th. No, it wasn't 11th grade. I think it was 10th grade. where like I just after lacrosse for like I just really did not like you.
Yeah.
I think it
But-
was a
but-
wrong grade.
But now
I
I
do remember this.
fucking love you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love you like a man loves a man. Think about that.
Yeah, romantically.
No, it was no romantically. Like I
Yeah.
want you. But no, really though. Like I have a really weird thing that goes on where someone actually has a problem with me. I don't realize it.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a household where if I'm mad and my mom's mad, we solve that right then and there.
Yeah.
And then that goes away. We wake up and go on with our lives. So it's a
Yeah.
weird thing to me that people hold lingering feelings
Yeah.
about things that I said.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
people
I
are
mean,
passive
And then
aggressive
sometimes
now.
I get caught by surprise, and I'm just like, oh shit, like
Yeah. I've
I
never
didn't
been good at
I did
confrontation.
not ask for this.
Yeah.
But that's just how I am though. Like I'm not per se argumentative, but like I will like, reflect the energy that I feel like is being.
And lacrosse is a very violent sport, so we're in that.
It's literally
Oh,
violent,
it is.
so, like, I'm
It is
already in
violent,
that
bro.
mode
It's
where
legal.
I'm already
It's
trying to
legal.
yell at someone.
Yeah. So
People
yeah, no,
do
I
get
don't
cussed,
I
guys.
don't blame you at all for any of our.
No, I
arguments.
don't blame you at all either. And honestly, I actually respected you more after that
Yeah.
because of I saw a different side of you. Because I always thought that you would be that type of guy. I hate people in sports who just play the fucking sport. It's a fucking little game and
Yeah,
little
yeah.
down around the field.
I-
and, like, parents
I
and shit.
started off like
It's
that.
Bitches. I fucking hate that shit.
Well, I used to pretend to be like that when I was younger because I used to be really out of shape and stuff. And
Yeah,
so
but no,
when
you
I-
were going hard though.
yeah.
I was respecting that. Like you were actually going hard. You probably were going harder than me, low key. Like you were going crazy. Like
No,
I always
yeah.
respected when you were actually like in heads with me because that meant you cared. So in that situation, I respected you more than everybody else on the team would let me yell at them. Just be like, okay. I guess I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
sometimes it's just like, yeah, you get yelled at, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
can't match
Like,
that.
if we, but the thing is, like in that sport, we had different ways of thinking about what we should,
Yeah.
certain situation, and we didn't have coaching, so it was literally just us figuring out what the
Yeah.
fuck to do with our
Doing
losing
it on the
situation.
Yeah.
This story goes.
We had no scrimmages. Not once.
Oh my god.
Our first game,
Not
people didn't know
Please,
where to
man.
stand when we started.
Oh my god.
You know how much pressure there was on the midfield to score, bro.
Oh my god.
No,
Yeah.
no, don't talk
On
about it. I mean,
Godly, bro.
Please, yo, don't talk about
That's
it. Don't
not
talk about
it, man.
Yeah. Let's not get into it.
Don't talk about it because I'm not gonna know what's going
That's
on.
a whole different episode, bro.
No, we had to be gods.
Oh, bro.
We had
Alright.
to
And like me
I'll,
too
I'll let
young
you
to, like,
guys do the lacrosse episode by yourselves, and just send me the audio.
Oh, but really though, that was so for you, Warren. I actually have the opposite experience because I don't think I'd be here right now talking to you in this way if we didn't go through that. Because I actually respected you more too.
I started I first when I didn't like kind of late like 10th grade and the start of the 11th grade season. I didn't respect you at first. I did. But then as
Yeah.
11th grade went on and I realized that, like your anger I used to think it was like came from also like apathy towards it. And I would realized, oh, you're you're responding like often you'd be like late to practice and stuff, and that's what got me upset a lot outside of the games. But I realized later in the season that's because you were so pissed with the team and the coaches because you care too.
Weirdly enough, that was its own thing. I was going through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I'd have to be late. And that pissed me
Yeah.
off too. So I'd have to go deal with that thing and then go to a practice and
And then-
shit on.
Right.
It was weird.
Yeah, and I myself was also going through some other stuff, and I didn't want to have to deal with other people going through things with a
Yeah.
shitty coach
Yeah.
Hey.
and so but yeah, I did like especially 12th grade looking back on the lacrosse season and also now hearing about that I respect it even more. I
This is a
All
real
life
bro.
works. Yeah.
This is a good circle jerk. I love it.
Yeah, sir.
I
Love
will-
y'all.
You're not invited. It's just me and Anthony.
Oh
Just
Yeah,
fucking
jerk
just-
each other.
just jerking
man.
each other.
Man!
It's not a circle.
Yeah,
It's
Bernie
a
Mac
line.
jokes.
Oh. This is
Ah,
weird.
shit.
Okay.
I'm
So,
being cheated on.
Fucking go.
Damn.
Just fucking go.
I'm very
But yeah,
comfortable.
so
with
that actually, weirdly enough, explains a lot of what I go through with other people though. Because I be in an argument with someone, they'd hold it over my head, but like they'd actually feel the type of way.
Yeah.
And that's just something that's not normal for me. You know what I mean? There might be a sentence that sticks with me, and I'm just like, right, does my breath really stink or something like that? Like it'd be something stupid. Like I never really have something sit with me, whereas I have to realize this is just something I have to get better with. I have to realize that people are different. Like people might take arguments differently. They might have gone through something in the past 5 minutes, and I just fucking yelled at them for something stupid, and you just ruined their day. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one thing It's not really a misunderstanding, but it kind of is at the same time in certain situations where it's just like you have to understand that I just.
Yeah.
So who's next?
We just gotta all like gather up our tears for a minute.
hold on.
Right.
Wait, so
I fuck
we
y'all
all
go.
answered that question?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't think
Kagan did.
Kadar, did you? Or
Yeah.
yeah, you did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we were talking about the right. I remember
Yeah.
now. I didn't yet.
You should.
Yeah.
But
You said you were
I
black.
guess
I mean,
right, there's that. But also, I remember like there's nothing really more. I've only really talked to in the past like year because of COVID people that I already know really well. But outside of that, I'd say like I remember at BTA, a lot of people like used to think I just either like hated them or just hated everyone there or something like that. I remember one one kid saying I had school shooter energies.
Oh.
Yo,
oh, wait,
Caleb,
hold
were we
on.
just talking about that?
That was-
Caleb,
that was-
were we
that
not
was-
just talking about that? I have the same problem, Ward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
Tone.
that's crazy.
I mean, I can explain. Yeah, but yeah. So like Tone, this is the funniest thing about that conversation. Tone is that you talking to us like, yo, I don't know why people think I have like I just like I don't know why people like think I'm like angry at them or something like that. And then in that same conversation, you said, yeah, when I walk in a room, I scan. I'm like, who am I gonna beat in a fight? Like, nigga.
But it wasn't like a actual like I'm like glaring at them or anything. It's just literally it's like a game. Like if I were to fight him,
Glance.
this nigga would kick me in the nuts. I'd lose. Like it's like a little game I do. It's just like I'm constantly distracted thinking about something. It's just one of those things. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm the supreme, ultimate fighter in this room, and I must dominate everybody with my supreme presence of ultra instinct. And I must
Absolute
kill everybody. It's
alpha.
not that. Yeah, it was not. It was just kind of like.
But
Yeah,
I
I
feel
feel
talk
that.
about this. Where well, yeah, with
That was
Tone
that
just
school shooter vibes. And that was
Yeah, but like and so and also that was that was Tofu that said that.
Oh, that,
Well, that also might not have even
Bro,
been genuine, honestly.
I know it probably wasn't. That was but like that was like I think that was when I was in like ninth grade or something like that. But I remember like a few years later, someone in our class who I actually genuinely liked, like I thought they were a cool person, like said like, do you just like dislike everyone, or made a joke about me just hating everyone or something like that. And I felt really, I felt bad about it because I genuinely really most of the people in our class like a lot of those people were fucking great and whatnot, and I liked a lot of the people at BTA. I just have a lot of mental problems, and so
I mean,
yeah.
I think the most problematic class for you, from like, I mean, because you and I, we hung out a lot, and we talk on like in train rides. And the most problematic people for you seem to just be the class right underneath us. But that was kind of
Yeah, well, that was later on, and I still don't like most of those people. But
yeah.
but like I'm talking about more so like people in our class who thought I didn't like anyone in our class.
Yeah, I don't know what I guess that class was on that vibe.
Who and that was like more so like that wasn't a recent thing. That was like up until like the 11th grade or something.
Mm.
like 11th and like late 11th and like 12th grade, I was kind of just vibing with most of the class. But
We were all
Right.
pretty.
That's when we
You
all
were.
stopped caring collectively.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was probably one of
Yeah.
my favorite moments in my life.
honestly,
great.
Were
We're
fighting.
actually united.
oh my god,
Good
remember the
vibe.
chair? Anyways,
Oh,
yo!
no, you can't erase that. You can't erase that. You can't erase that. Yo, that chair,
That
I
chair did
saw
things to
God in
people.
that chair, I swear. It was
For-
crazy.
for anyone confused,
Bro.
the chair,
Oh, God.
Um,
I'm a little confused.
we
Yeah, I
worship.
didn't like
Remember I came in the chair?
No, I don't think I was
Resurrection
there.
chair.
Oh
There was
my
like a
God.
cult,
You didn't
like,
get reformed?
Where was where was
Yo,
this?
So, Kagan, hold on. Before we
Wait,
keep going.
was
you're
this
not
in
it was
the?
in the senior room.
Oh yeah, that explains it. I was kind of having a thing and didn't go near people in the senior room, so
Yeah, see, we gotta cop a wheelie chair and get you going.
Yeah,
I don't
there
know
was
what you
something
got
about
a
that
wheelie
chair,
chair.
man. There was
We need
something
to
about
break
that
in the
chair.
PTA and we need to get that
Oh,
chair.
that chair.
was
yo,
with the black,
You might have to sneak back
the
in, bro.
black scuff
yeah,
mark.
no. Sadie
Oh
marked
my
it, and I know the
God,
mark.
man.
Sadie marked it, so I
Sadie
actually be able
marked
to
it?
pick it up.
Okay, so
Yes, bro.
I have a bunch of old BTA clothes in a bag, and so if we could just use that.
We're just gonna have to all go at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we
Oh,
just got a
yeah.
bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah.
BTA clothes we're gonna give
Just sneak
back.
in, bro. Pull up that
guess
chair.
we gotta
sit
shave.
You down, give you the experience, and walk out. GG.
But yeah,
Let's go.
but yeah. So like, anyways,
Six alumni.
but yeah, I was just having a lot of trouble dealing with a lot of stuff, and so like I would just be really tired because I didn't sleep, and not talk to people because I'm not good at talking to people, especially when I was younger. I was worse, but yeah, and so I feel bad about it when like feel bad because I felt bad that I was making people I liked think I didn't like them.
Mm.
I didn't want that to happen, but you know, I was just
I think
I was just going through some things.
Yeah.
Still am,
Yeah.
but I'm better at not making it everyone else's problem.
Mm.
That's really important. That is really important, being able to do that.
That's
Because
large.
it's harder to get people to like connect with you if you make
yeah, I don't want to know about your shit. Get that out of here.
Well, you know, there's a time and a place. You feel?
No, I know. I was just
Yeah.
being an asshole.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But you know, sometimes like there was definitely I think I one thing that kind of helped me in a weird way figure out more who and like when to talk to people about things and at what time was in, you know, BTA in our class. Like there's a lot of people with problems, and so there was a real kind of depression Olympics going on, and which, you know, I took part in, you know, of course. You know, everyone trying to be like, everyone trying to seem like every single person in the class had clinical depression, and you know, kind of hyperbolizing problems or kind of fetishizing their problems that they do have, making it worse. And you know, at first I took part in that, but then I got upset with it, and I got upset for the wrong reasons. I got upset with the people doing it, which is not the way to handle it. And which kind of led me to not doing that more. But yeah.
Yeah, okay, man.
Kagan,
What's up?
have you answered it? Yeah, I need you.
Did I couldn't think of like all these questions got so deep. I just said like a meme thing at the beginning. I mean, recently the only thing that's been happening is like a few times at work, people have been like, "Yo, wait, you're like," people are like, "Yo, wait, how old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 19," and they're like, "What? I thought you were much older." It's like, "Well, I thought you were like 26," and every time I'm like, "Damn, I feel fucking terrible." Like I feel.
Is it the beard? Do you have a beard going out?
But I'm wear a mask at work.
Oh.
Like no one see it. I don't think anyone, save for maybe
Brad, you
one,
do have
two.
a responsible look to you though. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I feel like you
Yeah, yeah.
ponder.
It's like your aura, you know.
It's
Thanks.
because you're white and you're dying faster.
It's the mental illness.
It's a mental illness.
Oh my god.
But I mean, that happened, I guess, at my other job. I don't think. yeah, when I was working at Moe's too, people thought I was older, and I think part of it was that like, especially one of the like the managers that was there that I liked, who eventually left, do his own thing. Thank God, that job sucked. Good for him. Where it was just like, he was like, yeah, no, you don't bullshit, because like there were some people at work who clowned around who were just like very, obviously like immature, and I just kind of like didn't give a shit in any regard. Still don't, because like it's a like sometimes I talk to the people I work with now more at Starbucks than I did before, but it's just kind of like I'd like to think that like my maturity is what it is, but I'm not sure. I think it might just be like the deep bags I have under my eyes and shit like that. I just look tired all the time.
I think it's definitely just more of the fact that like even at your age you're well, I mean, if it's specifically at work, you're obviously like you're busy, you're working, you're not playing around, but you're reserved and you're not going to open up and be goofy with just anybody, right?
Yeah.
Which is a type of like composure that an adult would have.
You have a beard though. Kadar is right. I do have a beard.
I've had
a shave.
I've had like at least 8 people try and buy loose cigarettes from me.
What?
What?
Trying
How?
to tell you, dude. I don't know why people think I sell weed. I really don't.
I think in a lot of ways, Anthony, we've got a lot of same vibes.
Yeah.
School shooters. Look at you.
You've got part of me like at first within the first second you saying that, Warren, I wasn't sure I would agree, but there's a weird vibe similarity that like to like the 98% mark, and then it just sort of diverges, and I don't know why. I don't know how to pinpoint it, but
98% is
there.
a lot, though.
It just I know there's a lot of like there's on vibes alone there's a lot of similarities, but then at the same time I wouldn't be like, yo, they're the same, you know.
We have a lot of differences in a lot of personality things and like interests and stuff. I mean, we have a lot of the same in that, but different experiences, yeah. But
Yeah.
Same vibe.
Yeah, same vibe.
Like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people they think I'm a misogynist, and
Because you are.
I'm not a misogynist. I'm a real.
Hello. That woman writing is a little bit too radical. I don't know about that. But
No,
for the rest of the shit, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not even sure that they should have been working at meals.
Personally, I don't think women should be allowed to wear socks. That's just me.
No, that ass. Like their feet stink like shit, nigga.
What? Wait.
My God, dude, what?
I take the opposite to kick it. I think no one should not wear socks in public. Everyone should be required to wear socks in public. And
Please, bro.
no one show your fucking
You know what?
knees in public. I don't want to see your hairy knees in public.
You know what?
Cover your knees. Wear pants.
I'm gonna make it. Hold on. I'm gonna make a stand.
I'm gonna wear
because no
thigh
one
highs with the
believed me,
knees cut
and
out.
I'm holding on to this grudge since like 8th grade. I
Oh.
think we should normalize putting on deodorant in public.
Oh yeah. I don't see what's
You could dart that one time.
Wait, I'll explain it.
just
I got
like.
you, 'cause
Oh, okay.
in class, Caleb put on deodorant in the middle of class.
What?
Okay, that
Oh
was
my
different.
God.
Yeah, that's different
How
because
you
you're like
think-
lifting your shirt and stuff.
Okay.
Hey, it's a little
Yeah,
different.
I go underneath my shirt and be like, scoop, scoop. I'm smelling kind of funky. Scoop, scoop.
Oh my.
Bro.
I know
Bro,
whenever
I can't.
whenever I was a little stanky, I knew I could count on Caleb to let me borrow his deodorant. So
You
I'm
weren't supposed to say that out loud.
Dude, it was an intimate thing, bro. Come on.
nah, come on. It's
Yeah.
all right. If you're the same person, it's like nothing, you know.
That's true. We do have the same
That's
germs.
just-
I use your deodorant, you use my toothbrush. You know, it's all the same.
Yeah.
That was a lie, just to
Start sharing underwear. Then what are we doing?
We do share.
We have the same cock, bro. What do you
we
Yeah. Shit, dog.
we do share it. By the way, I do
don't.
need it next Tuesday. Just
Oh,
for
you do?
FYI. Yeah, I gotta come by and pick it up.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't need it. I'm
I
not.
love that running joke. That joke is the
I don't
best.
have a. I
Getting
have a
dusty.
yeah.
No.
Just that.
So lonely.